morning, everybody. How are you doing today? As everybody knows, my name is Spudwick, and I have a special guest today. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
I guess I'm Curly.
Coach Curly.
Coach Curly. Hello, everybody. This should be fun.
Yeah, we're doing a little bit something different today. I put down here, other side. Over there is my Twitter, and over here is his Twitter. I've never promoted those ever because I barely use Twitter, other than when Twitch posts stuff for me about going live.
But for sports, Twitter's a good one.
Yes. We are doing our first offshoot of, we haven't even come up with a name of it yet, but we will be doing a sports talk today. Something I'm very passionate about, and so is he. And we're going to be talking about football, what happened this last season, or this last week, fantasy, what's going to happen next week, and just regular banter.
Good times.
How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm feeling good. Got a big game starting tonight. We'll get into that, but yeah, football is here, and that's always good news.
It is always good news. I'm glad because this last weekend, we got to hang out, watch most of the games together, and we had the party with the rest of our some of our fantasy group, and kind of came on a weird weekend, same weekend as races, and
Yep.
It happens. But this weekend we should have, probably
Bigger crew.
Robin Hood and everybody out with us.
Yeah, it's fun getting together with your buddies and watching some games and hanging out.
Oh, absolutely.
Making fun of each other.
Absolutely. How'd you do on betting last weekend?
I guess I came out positive, which is always a good thing, but not great. Overall, I just had a rough weekend, but the games I did bet on, I managed to come out on top, barely.
Yeah. I did not end up as well. I ended up negative over the weekend. Not bad negative, but
you got one though, didn't you?
I got the one. I got the one bet, so I didn't lose as much as I was going to. But I took the safe bet on the last bet.
What was the one that you got? I can't remember.
It was the spread for Buccaneers.
The over under.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it helped because, unfortunate for Dak, but I got it because of that.
Yeah, Dak got hurt. Yep.
So, and we'll talk about that also.
Yeah.
And that situation in Dallas and what they should probably do. But we might as well jump into last week's games. I think.
Heck yeah.
I think I should have opened this before.
Do you remember what do you think the most surprising game?
Marcel, hello.
What was the most surprising outcome of last week that you remember? Before we just go through them all, I was just curious, what's the top of your list?
So the last week's most surprising one to me was oh God, now I gotta think.
I put you on the spot.
You did. I know what game I'm thinking of though. It was Steelers Bengals.
I would have to agree with that.
Was probably the most surprising out of them. Joe Burrow just looked like a little kid to me.
Yeah.
After watching the highlights and him playing like Ryan Leaf.
Ryan Leaf, that's a good one.
He played. If you don't know who Ryan Leaf
Blast
is,
from the past.
You should look it up. He didn't look good. 4 picks, 5 turnovers because he fumbled one. They gotta do something there. Honestly, that's just me.
Well, since we're on that game, I also thought it was kind of impressive though that they still had a chance to win that game.
Well, that just shows you how bad
Right.
the Steelers are.
I agree.
It's no offense to the Steelers. I mean, I'm gonna be harping you all season.
Yeah.
you didn't do yourselves any favor. I don't
No.
think. I don't think they.
If it wasn't for a bad snap, like I think Cincinnati would have won that game at the end.
Oh, absolutely. It was just unfortunate for them. I think they had a really good chance of winning. The Bengals did, but they just handed. They were like, oh, we don't really want to win. Here's the football.
That first half was disgusting.
Yeah. That's our sickening game of the week.
I know that's a rivalry game. I'm sure the Steelers fans are pumped that they got it, but man, you didn't look good getting it either.
You gotta do something this next week. Start Pickett. Pickens.
Pickens is the wide receiver.
Pickens
the
is the receiver.
Well, just imagine the future in Pittsburgh is going to be Pickett to Pickens.
Yeah, Pickett to Pickens.
Pickett to Pickens over and over again. You know that's coming in the near future.
I think. So let's start with, literally a week ago, Thursday night game, we had Bills versus Steelers.
That was
returning Super Bowl champs at home against one of the best AFC teams. Couldn't be more hype. And just got steamrolled.
It was gross from the snap number one.
It was. There's so much I can talk about in this one. So, Cam Akers getting nothing.
Like they didn't even hardly use it.
They didn't hand off the ball. He never touched the ball the entire game.
Which is weird. He was on the field quite a bit, but they just didn't.
They're just using him as a distraction.
Yeah, I don't know. He's got to still be sore. Not ready yet.
I don't know if they're prepared for that. I don't think the coach is prepared to start using him again. But Sean McVay's so good, so I'm assuming he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
But this is the first time that Sean McVay also has a losing record. By the way,
that's impressive. he is a damn good coach. There's no doubt about it.
Yes. No. I think this is a kind of an omen of how the whole season's gonna go.
You think so?
And not just for them, but like the whole NFL.
Oh,
where you look at the most talented teams on both sides.
Mm-hmm.
Rams were favored to repeat. Like
sure.
they were above everybody else to go and win the Super Bowl again, and then Bills come in week 1 and blow them out by 21. That's a painful one.
It didn't. I mean, I would pick the Bills. I would have picked the Bills as my Super Bowl favorite this year. And I don't know what the numbers on that are, like how many people would pick them over the Rams. But yeah, I mean, the Rams are, they're good. I just don't know what happened to them there.
I think
they got steamrolled. Maybe they got caught up in that emotions of getting their rings and trophy or whatever that was.
Yeah.
And Buffalo just came in ready to roll.
Jesus.
Just one more to go.
One more to go.
Thank you so much, Marcel. Very much appreciate that. Miss you, buddy.
But Buffalo's on a mission. I think when they lost in that 12-second play last year, they all off season they're like, you know what, we're not doing that again.
Yeah, that was rough for them, but I think that fuels the fire for this season,
sure.
And they're gonna get it. I think.
If they can get through the beginning half of their schedule, I think they're gonna just roll everybody because the second half of their schedule, I think when we looked, was pretty decent.
It wasn't anything that I think.
Right.
I still think they could go 14-3 this year.
Sure.
Be number 1 seed in the AFC.
Yeah.
And,
definitely wouldn't surprise me if they even lost less than 3 games, but we'll see.
Well,
they aren't going to play like that every night, I don't think.
Well,
but we'll see.
I think the big thing for them is to not get a big head and to just get on the field, do your job, move on to the next week.
No doubt. That's hard to do, though, by the way.
Oh, it's very hard to do. When you just steamrolled
the
Super Bowl champs, dude, Yeah.
you're going to start thinking you're better than you maybe are. But
Oh,
they are
absolutely.
good. They are real good. They got so many weapons. They got good defense. They're just fully put together.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't want to just dog on the Rams the whole time.
Sure.
I want to say, you know, the connection between Stafford and Cup is undeniably one of the best in the league. It's like, yes, Stafford likes to feed it in there,
Yeah.
but Cup is still one of the best, if not the best receiver in the league.
He's ridiculous.
So I think, they're going to make changes. They came in probably a little hot-headed, man, we're the champs. The Chiefs beat them, we beat,
right.
so I think they came in a little overconfident, but I don't see this stopping their season. I think they're going to make changes, come in, they got to get Cam Akers some work.
They just got to get a better running game for sure. And they got to throw to somebody besides Cup.
Yeah, well, I mean,
I love it going to Cup. I mean, if he's open, I'd throw it to him every time too, but they got to spread the ball around.
Oh, absolutely. More targets. You target more people,
That's right.
the more the defense has to spread out. So,
yeah.
No, that was good. I enjoyed the game.
That started the season off with a bang, though, didn't it?
It really did, and then the next game that went on kind of just flatlined it, because the next game that was played was a Saints-Falcons game.
Saints and Falcons. That was
So you have two glorified backups as starters. You got Jameis Winston. I am not on your train. Sorry, and Marcus Mariota. Those guys getting another chance at being starters, to me, is amazing, because Jameis Winston isn't bad. If he can pull off those, pull back the picks a little bit, I think he could be a top 10 quarterback easy.
Yeah.
It's like, but when you throw 33 touchdowns and 30 interceptions, a 1-to-1 ratio is not good. And Marcus Mariota, being a backup in Las Vegas for 3 years, he got, Derek Carr can't stay healthy. So every year you see him at least one game, and he doesn't look bad. So with that, I think, Saints barely won by one.
By 1 point.
By 1 point, 27-26.
But they made a nice comeback because Atlanta was whipping their butts.
Atlanta was up by 16 in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
And
so that's where I'll give, first quarter, Mariota looked good. Or first half, Mariota looked good. Second half, Winston looked good.
Winston looked way better. Yes.
That was two different halves of football.
It's being able to close.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest problem with the Falcons, anyways. That's their MO. I mean, 28-3. Come on.
Right.
That's gonna haunt them forever every time they choke a lead of probably 2 touchdowns or more.
But like you were saying, I think those two teams, their fans have a little bit to hope for, because it looks like Atlanta's not going to be absolutely brutally terrible like they have been, and New Orleans isn't going to be like the old days, but they look like they can get some wins. So we'll see.
I think things are well with Michael Thomas being healthy.
Yeah, that was huge.
I think that's going to be a big thing for the Saints.
That's a huge.
And I think it's a downside for the Falcons. They're not having Calvin Ridley this season, or maybe next season. It depends on what the league decides. But one of your top receivers is out. It's like, what are you gonna do? But Falcons do have Kyle Pitts,
which they have to get him the ball.
Yeah, I mean,
that's what Mariota didn't do.
I think they cover him too well.
Well,
and
they don't have a lot of weapons.
He just doesn't have the experience yet to be able to get that separation from those faster linebackers or faster DBs.
Pitts and Cordarrelle Patterson are their two weapons, and Mariota's just got to stop fumbling the ball.
Yeah.
Did he do that in Vegas? Quite a bit. I guess he didn't play that much.
He only played like one game a season.
I like Mariota because he's a fun quarterback to watch and he runs. But man,
when he runs,
He had the
needs to-
dropsies.
He needs to secure that, but he's eating popcorn on the sideline,
He's
man.
eating popcorn. Yes.
It's Brucey's time.
That was just kind of an ugly one between two
Oh, right.
bottom of the barrel, maybe a little higher than that type teams.
Well, they're going to be, so in the NFC South is where they're at. You got Tampa Bay, who's going to end up winning that division. But then you got both the Saints and Falcons who are going to be fighting for second and third.
Yeah.
Carolina's at the bottom. We're
Yeah.
just a little, sorry, Baker, but you proved my point this
Yeah,
weekend.
who knows? All three of those teams might have a losing record. We'll see. New Orleans got to be unseated as the 2 in that one for me, but I didn't like a whole lot I saw, and I don't love their roster. So
No. Yeah.
I don't know if New Orleans is going to be quite as good as they've been in the past.
No, I mean without Drew Brees
Well,
or Sean
of course,
Payton, come on,
right?
Like that's
You've lost a great coach, Hall of Fame quarterback.
you're missing a lot there that
Yeah.
you need to turn around with.
What's next?
Next one, we got the swimming pool bowl.
Oh, that game.
49ers Bears.
I woke up on Sunday morning and was watching some early NFL programming on TV, and they started showing that field and the rain. You couldn't even see the field from the press box. And they had it covered, and then when they uncovered it, it was it was insane. And I know there's been some crazy weather in Chicago football games, but my goodness, that was so much rain.
That was way more than they expected. Also, if they thought they were only going to get 2 inches.
Oh, really?
And they ended up with like 6 inches of rain.
I didn't know that.
That was ridiculous. And I was like, okay, well.
Now, that would have been a fun football game to play, especially if you're on defense. I would have had a blast.
Oh, on defense would have been great. Offense.
That just takes everything away from everybody. If you're fast, you're not fast anymore.
Yeah, it's kind of even the playing field,
Yeah.
which kind of gives the Bears the ability at home to be able to make a difference.
Well, and both of those young quarterbacks looked horrible at times, and both of them had a few good moments. And but I don't think it would have mattered who was quarterbacking in that game. That's a rough way for a young quarterback to start the season.
Well, for Trey Lance to technically start off his whole career in that type of game, that's a hard one.
Yeah.
And I don't think anyone expected a high-scoring game after we found out about the rain and everything like that. But I didn't expect their defense not to show up.
Right.
And that's where, it got a little...
What was the final score on that one? I don't
19 to
remember.
10.
19 to 10. Yep. Neither team could get much going in that one. Kudos to the Bears for pulling it out, though. You know.
Well, the Bears, Justin Fields had 1 interception, but he had 2 passing touchdowns.
Yeah.
So...
And not a whole lot of passing yards, but he did what he needed to do.
He did do exactly. Well, it's hard. It's the rain.
Yeah.
Best thing I can say about the whole team though, for the Bears, no fumbles.
Yeah.
No fumbles in a rainy game like that. You're expecting a couple fumbles. Nothing. I was like, they're securing the ball at least.
And their defense did a great job.
Yeah, they stepped up to a team who
because the
clearly is better.
49ers do have some weapons.
Yes.
So they did a good job.
Well, now they're down 1 weapon, and
They are.
we'll talk about that later. But he wasn't hurt during the game, so
Right.
So can't make excuses on that one.
No, kudos to the Bears. I bet that Chicago fans probably real happy about that one.
I have a feeling that the Bears are going to be better this year than what they usually are. I don't expect them to win the division. I'm not saying that. But, coming in right behind Green Bay is not far-fetched to me.
No, I could see it. They're going to be fun to watch. Fields is fun. He's very athletic. I think there's going to be some rough games of growing pains for him.
Yeah, they don't have an easy schedule, but they don't have a hard schedule.
And they don't have a amazing talent on that roster either. Like the Bears are I mean, I don't see how they're ever going to run the ball, but
Mm.
they just don't have a lot of
They don't.
running backs that make your hair stand up. You
But
know?
Justin Fields is also a runner.
Well, he's going to have to do a lot of it.
So, he might do the Josh Allen,
Yeah.
but I hope he slides, not like
I hope
Josh
he
Allen.
slides.
I don't like when quarterbacks refuse to slide. They're like, I just need one more yard.
Yeah.
But Ed Reed is in front of me. It's
Yeah.
like, no, you go down. You have teammates. Trust your teammates.
They want to be tough guys too. So,
Yeah.
I get it. They grew up their whole career like, get the extra yard,
Yeah.
But when you're making that money and there's only one of you, you cannot get hurt, man.
No, it's too much. It's too much for them to.
You gotta know when to call it good. Kind of like it's okay to throw a ball out of bounds once in a while instead of taking a sack. Just throw it out.
Yeah.
Pride gets in the way.
Pride gets in the way. I think I think Justin Fields is going, or not Justin Fields. I think Trey Lance is going to bounce back this week, and as long as it's a dry game,
I hope
you
so.
know.
I don't want to start hearing Jimmy Garoppolo talk because that would just be brutal for a young quarterback. I would hate to see him have to worry about Garoppolo taking his spot.
I still say, and because they kept Garoppolo, I still think that they're not 100% on the Trey Lance boat yet. It's like, why would you keep Garoppolo? They're totally opposite quarterbacks.
Yeah, I see that as a couple bonuses for San Francisco. They got him to lower his money.
Yes.
And now they have trade bait, which they could definitely get something good for him.
Dang.
Or if Trey Lance gets hurt or isn't good at all, then they have backup.
Yep. Then
And Jimmy G ain't sexy. Well, he is to look at.
he's a
Good-looking
man.
But as a quarterback, he's not sexy, but he's got him there.
He's
He's good.
For
he's
the
good
last
enough.
couple years, they've still been number 1 or 2 in their division.
Yeah.
So yeah, absolutely.
Well,
We already talked about Steelers Bengals.
yeah.
Eagles Lions.
Eagles, Lions. That was a little bit of a surprise for me.
So I wasn't surprised with the outcome. I thought the Eagles would absolutely win.
I was surprised at the.
I was surprised by the ending score.
Yes, that's what I meant.
Yeah. Eagles 38, Lions 35. I get 2 things from this. Either the Eagles, after they got their lead, became too relaxed and let them come back. Or the Lions figured out the Eagles' defense and they just steamrolled them the second half. Because they outscored the Eagles in the second half.
I thought, Philadelphia is going to be an exciting team. I think they're the next good team to happen.
Yes.
Whether it fully happens this year or not, I don't know. Maybe it's a next year thing that they're really butt kickers. But they've got a lot of weapons, and they got Hurts looks like he's the real deal.
Yeah.
And but we are not dealing with the Lions of old, I don't think.
I don't think so
They got weapons
either.
too, and they look good, and their D is legit.
Well, I said before the game started, and I said I wanted to watch this. This was like one of the games I wanted to watch at noon on Sunday. Was they have the highest paid offense in NFL right now.
Yep.
I don't know where that money's going to. I don't know if it's to their offensive line.
It's got to be O-line.
If they're giving their receivers too much, their quarterback too much, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. I expect something from them this year that's not a 3-win season.
Yeah.
What they did against the Eagles, holding their own, halfway staying with them, and then starting to make a comeback, I think we're going to see maybe not a winning record Lions this year. Dan Campbell needs to pull his head out of his ass. But I do believe that we're going to see a close to 500
Yeah.
Eagles
I
this
could
year.
absolutely see that.
Or not Eagles, Lions.
Lions.
Eagles, I think, are going to win their division.
They got great young receiver and Amon-Ra St. Brown, and
Yes.
then Swift looks amazing. Like he
lo-
might end up being a top 5 running back at the end of the year.
He looks good, and his backup looked good too.
Right.
So
Which tells you that I think that a lot of that money's on their O-line.
yeah. I'm not holding my breath with the Lions, but I'm expecting something.
And who's the Lions quarterback again?
Jared Goff.
Goff, that's right.
Yeah.
I'm blanking on that one.
Yeah.
Goff is, good enough. So
he took the Rams to a Super Bowl.
Yep.
Couldn't finish it off. Had a couple mediocre seasons.
Yeah.
Went to the Lions. Had an absolute crap season.
He's not amazing, but he's experienced and he's been there. So he's been on good teams and
I think he has the ability to go
yeah.
from there. So, he just has to. He has to become an actual leader in that role and not just wear a C because he gets to wear a C.
Right.
Yeah.
One thing I will be curious is how these two teams look going forward, because we'll be able to tell real quick. Was Philly not as good as we thought, or is Detroit a little better than we thought?
Yeah.
And maybe it's a little bit of both, but we'll find out in the next few weeks.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think this week, because we'll talk about games a little bit, but I think this coming week we're gonna know.
Yeah.
At least for the Lions.
Yeah.
For who they play, I think we're gonna have a good inkling of where they're going to actually be.
Well, and Philly's
sitting.
got a really good test this week too. We'll get into.
But we get into that.
Yeah, I agree. This will be a good week to figure out both of those teams a little bit more. I know everybody was really high on the Philly bandwagon as a sleeper pick,
Yeah.
and rightfully so.
Oh, after the draft,
But
absolutely.
sometimes you jump on that bandwagon a year too early, and everyone's like, "Oh, they're going to be awesome," and it's like, "Well, they were better, but they were not." And then next year they're awesome, or something like that.
I mean, that sounds like the Cowboys all the way through the 2000s. All right. The
Cowboys slam number 1.
We need a slam counter because that's going to be.
Dude, yeah.
How many?
We need a sound effect where you just punch a button and it's like slam.
All right, this is the game I was most excited for this weekend, which was the Patriots-Dolphins game.
Yep.
I'll let you go first.
No, you were spot on, and this is one where, our week 1 picks. Which we just did last minute,
and we did horrible on.
It was rough. Week one is no fun, but this is one where we disagreed on, and you got it. You got this one right. I was expecting a little bit more of a controlled Belichick New England team to come in there and at least win a close game, but Dolphins looked pretty good. And New England looked absolutely atrocious, just like they have all spring. So
the one thing though is I expected it to be. I still expected it to be a close game, which it kind of was, but
yeah,
I expected New England's defense to be better than it was. It was very.
What was the final score on that one?
20-7.
20-7. Yeah. So it's the Dolphins D that looked good.
Yeah, Dolphins. I mean.
Or was New England just so bad that it didn't matter who was playing D?
It could have been true. I didn't see the Patriots being that bad though. They had some great moments, but they started making mistakes. And when you start making mistakes and your O-line starts getting lazy and you're giving up 3 sacks in the fourth quarter and strip sacks and everything, it's just like, man, you're having issues.
Well, Mac Jones has a atrocious receiving situation, and I don't know how they're going to get this corrected.
It's not just receiving. Their running game isn't good either.
Running back by committee is typical, but they've got like 3 or 4 dudes that are just so-so.
No, they need to do something. Losing their offensive coordinator this offseason, and Josh McDaniels, he went to the Raiders. It is... I feel so bad that now they brought in this other guy and they have to relearn everything.
Yeah.
It just shows what a gem that Josh McDaniels was for them. He was a solid a pick for offensive coordinator because they still last year were not looking bad, and they absolutely didn't look like this last year.
Yeah, I think Double B's Mr. Belichick. I bet he was pretty down when he knew that was happening.
Well, I don't think he knew it was happening until it was too late.
I talk him out of it.
Yeah, I think there could have been some talk between them to get McDaniels to stay, but McDaniels wanted to be a head coach. He wanted to be a head coach in Denver.
Yep.
You know, he had a bad year in Denver.
That was long ago.
And then, you know, he went right back to New England, and now, you know, they're giving him a chance in Las Vegas.
Yep. That was an ugly one for New England for sure.
Yeah.
And you know, Tua, he's Tua. He's decent in some ways, and then not good in others. And I was impressed with how they used Tyreek Hill.
Yes.
Because they didn't go deep, but they got him involved a whole bunch.
See, instead of this is where they have that a real good deep opportunity, but Patriots were not going to give that to them.
Right.
They were like, we're covering two, one on each side. You can't get Hill out there. It's not going to happen. But instead, you know, they nickeled and dimed him with Tyreek Hill and just constantly kept going down the field. So there was no slowing him down.
We'll have to see how the Dolphins continue to progress, and then we'll have to see if New England can up its defense. Because if their defense is not going to be as good as the past, they're going to have a rough year.
It's going to be another losing season, and Bill doesn't handle that very well.
No, he doesn't. Whole team might get fired, which would be funny.
That would be hilarious.
Everybody, get out! You're all fired.
I'm starting from scratch. Get out, Mac Jones. Oh, I'd want Mac Jones.
I like him. I think he's just fine.
I'd stick him, or I'd keep with him and be like, we're building the team around you now. All right, the next game, this went exactly as I thought it would. There's no way that the fucking Jets are getting 8 wins this year. Ravens and Jets, as smatter, just a smattering. The Ravens killed the Jets, made them look like children, 24-9.
The Jets are still the Jets.
Yep, I do say Jets were playing with a backup quarterback, but they were playing with a backup Super Bowl quarterback in Joe Flacco.
And the Ravens D is still good enough to make sure you're not going to go crazy on them.
No, it's
not the Ravens D of old, but
yeah.
They're still good enough to, you know, they're not going to give up a whole lot.
No, I don't think they're going to give up a whole lot, but
unless they're playing the Bills or something.
Well,
but everybody's going to give up a lot.
Everybody's going to give a lot to that, but no, I think the Ravens are showing. You know, they didn't start their starters in the preseason, and you know they came out a little rusty. Of course, you know they hadn't played, but they came out and boom, put it to them. I think if they didn't have to get that rust off of them, I think this would have been closer to a 40-9 or 42-0 game.
Baltimore wasn't great by any means.
Yeah.
They're lucky. I think they're lucky they were playing the Jets, honestly. Lamar was decent. He wasn't amazing like usual. He didn't put up crazy Lamar numbers like he has in the past. But you know, Baltimore doesn't have much of a running game either. It's like Lamar or bust.
Yeah.
And you know, they had a good defense against a bad Jets team.
Right.
But yes, I'm still on the Jets are better bandwagon. I'm sorry.
I didn't say they're not better.
They have weapons. They just need someone besides a 50-year-old Flacco at quarterback. So I'm excited for Zach Wilson to come back.
Give him a little credit. He's 40.
I'm kidding.
No, he's past his prime.
After that game, I bet he felt 50.
No. I bet he's nursing some boo-boos.
I bet he's sore.
He's probably still sore today.
He did not wake up Monday morning, I bet. But he just stayed in bed.
Like, this, not worth it today. Not worth it.
How many games is this kid out for? I'm a backup.
Crap.
I'm getting paid to be a backup. Why am I playing?
Yeah, I think when Zach Wilson gets back, we'll see a completely different Jets. You know, Zach Wilson's a mobile quarterback.
Yeah.
But we saw how mobile worked with him in the preseason. So
he was trying to be a hero again.
Yep.
There we go.
Stop-
That running quarterback thing.
Stop trying to be heroes.
Yep.
You have a team for a reason.
He's lucky he didn't tear his ACL. That's what I thought happened when I saw it.
I wasn't sure exactly.
He just sprained it.
I wasn't sure exactly what happened. I just know that it wasn't.
He didn't even get hit.
No.
But he was trying to do too much.
He tried to juke, and his knee went, nah.
Hey, Zach, we got running back for that job.
Yeah, you just run out of bounds. Run out of bounds. Or slide. Don't dive. Stop diving. If you're a quarterback, period, in any league, don't dive forward.
I'm on the Jets bandwagon to be better this year, so I'm going to be promoting them every time. They come close or get a win, I'm going to be all over it.
If they get a win, I will not hear the end of it. I'm still saying they're maybe 4-win team.
4 wins? Yep.
4, maybe 5.
I adjusted mine to 6.
To 6.
Not 8.
Oh, you're not on the 8 train anymore?
8 was a little crazy. I dropped it to 6.
Hey, that's close to a
That's the
500
only one I
season.
changed. Yeah, I know. I'm shooting for the moon.
Yeah, you're going to miss and hit space.
Yeah, probably. Probably.
But you'll still end up beyond the stars.
Yeah.
Next game was the Jaguars Commanders.
Yes.
I have almost no words for how disappointed I am in the Jaguars.
Yep.
This game should have been just over before it began.
Well, I think everybody is expecting Jacksonville to improve at maybe a little more rapid pace than what they are actually going to improve. I think Jacksonville is going to be just fine, and I like their squad. They got good people, they got good players, and they're just young.
Yes.
You know, that was disappointing for sure. They didn't get ETN the ball at all.
Barely.
He was on the field a lot, but they got him the ball and he looked great, but they just struggled getting anything going. And I'll give Washington credit. Their D looked pretty good, you know, and that's without the big boy who's out all half the year or whatever.
Yeah.
But you know, Washington's not a sexy team for me either. So that was a little disappointing because I was kind of thinking Jacksonville might be able to chip game 1 off of there and get a win.
Dude, starting the season off with a win for Jacksonville would have been amazing. Trevor Lawrence, he didn't even look good. Like,
no, he didn't.
I don't think I can express a single compliment that I can give to the Jaguars.
Yeah, I can't either.
You scored 22 points.
They hung with Washington. I guess is the only
yeah,
thing
you hung with
say.
Washington. You hung with Carson Wentz.
Yeah, that's.
Now I like Carson Wentz as a quarterback.
He was decent. But that's all he's gonna be is decent.
He had a very good game, stats wise. But the Commanders.
You could just take very off of that. You can just say he had a good game.
He had a good game. Yeah. Stat wise, he did amazing. Fantasy score off the roof. But it just wasn't pretty.
Yeah, I think Wentz will do fine. He's got some good receivers to throw to. They have no running game either, you know, and that's going to be a problem for them, I think, in the future. It's going to be lots of passing for Wentz and rely on your defense.
Oh, yeah.
And if you're counting on Wentz to throw a lot of passes and win you games, that makes me nervous.
Yeah, that's it's not that he can't do it.
I don't hate Carson Wentz, but he's just not
Gingers unite.
Not that guy. The redheads like him, yes.
Oh, I'm very much a Carson Wentz fan, but just because I'm a fan doesn't mean I don't see that he makes mistakes and he's not an elite quarterback. If you want to talk mid, that's your mid quarterback, right there.
I could go with that.
Yeah, they're just not.
But I still think Jacksonville is gonna get it figured out. They have too much talent.
I mean, with Urban Meyer being gone, I think things are going to turn
Absolutely.
around very hard in this next, couple weeks.
He was an atrocious joke that didn't even take it seriously.
Yeah, that's a. We'll get off of him.
Yeah. Not worth my breath.
Yeah. We got the Baker Mayfield revenge game.
Yes.
Panthers versus Browns.
That didn't work out.
And Baker Mayfield is the same Baker Mayfield, except for he's actually completing passes to the Browns now.
Yeah, that was a bizarre one. I honestly thought that Carolina might be decent.
Oh, I agree. I agree with that. We're talking real football. Real American football.
American football, not football.
Not football. Football.
I don't know anything about soccer. That's what we call football.
That's
soccer.
what we call football.
I don't know squat about it.
Hey, we got 3 overseas games this year.
There you go.
So,
what's the first one's like London or something, isn't it?
Yeah, one's London, one's Germany, and I don't know where the other one is. But so
Carolina, Cleveland, yep.
Yeah. So the Browns, I'm gonna look it up really quick because I want to make sure that I give credit where credit is due. I wanted first Kareem Hunt, Nick Chubb.
Killer.
Did amazing, and I could not believe that.
Those might be 2 top 10 running backs on the same team.
Yes.
I mean, they're just killer.
They were great as a team. Chubb with the speed to get down the field, and Kareem Hunt just to plow through and get those touchdowns.
You got a running game like that, you can win on accident almost.
You can,
because that clock is ticking.
I do want to say that Brissett absolutely shocked me. He didn't throw any interceptions.
Well, he was just handing it off the whole game.
Well, he didn't throw any interceptions. He was over 50% completion rate, which I did not expect, for like 140 yards. It's not like huge numbers.
Yeah.
But I give him all the credit in the world for commanding and moving forward and winning that game.
Man, if he can get a few wins before Ding Dong comes back, massage therapist, before he comes back, that'll be huge for the Browns because obviously he's a good quarterback,
They still, their team the Browns are not bad.
They're not.
They're not bad. They're just, they've come across bad luck almost every year. Baker seemed to have been the answer, took them to the playoffs. Didn't win a playoff game, but they made it to the playoffs, won their division. I thought Baker was going to stay there and they were going to keep moving forward. Mm-hmm. The fact that the Browns turned their back on Baker for being there 3 years, turning everything around, and going to Deshaun Watson kind of slap in the face.
Yeah.
But, we'll see in week 13.
Yeah. The Browns aren't going to be amazing, but I can see them being in that middle range.
Oh, they're not going to win their division or anything like that, but they're going to, I think they're going to put up decent numbers this year. I don't think that they're going to be a 2-win team or anything, but I don't think they're going to have a winning record either.
Yeah.
So
Carolina's got I think they'll be okay too.
I think the lack of CMC in the
Baker
game.
threw it. Well, they ran. He ran the ball like 10 times. Like, what the heck? Like, I don't know if they just had a different game plan for the Browns, or if McCaffrey's still not quite ready to go, or I don't know what happened there.
That's
I need more CMC, man.
I need to see what they're.
And everyone that has him on fantasy team really needs
Oh,
more
they were
CMC.
pissed this weekend.
I did not get him in my leagues.
Yeah, neither did I.
But I wouldn't have been mad if I did, but after game 1 I would have.
I'd be questioning if he's going to start on my fantasy team.
Yeah, no doubt. And you don't want that out of a first pick.
And that's not a guy you drop.
No, you can't drop him. I mean, they could trade him to me. I'll take him.
You could trade. I'll take him.
But, yeah, more McCaffrey, and Baker was like, meh. You know, he had some good yardage, and he threw some good passes, but he just wasn't sharp.
Yeah.
So we'll see how they progress. But I see Carolina and the Browns as almost like mirror images of similar record type teams.
Yeah.
Middle of the road.
Middle Road still losing record.
Yeah, maybe under 500 a game or two.
Yeah.
Cleveland could surprise me a bit with that running game, but we'll see.
I'd like. I mean, if that's the route they're gonna take, you know, I think if they're gonna run before Watson gets back, and then Watson comes back, and you have that third run option, that's
sure. Yeah, they'll be tough.
That's
how many games is he out?
He's out for 11. He'll be back 13.
11,
week
man.
13.
Man, they better hope Brissett can hang on.
Well, I mean,
I haven't looked.
He has no choice.
I haven't looked at their 11-game schedule with Brissett, but I feel like the Browns are just gonna crap themselves eventually. They make so many mistakes.
Hey, but you have a winning record right now, so be happy about it.
Yeah, you got it for now.
you got something. Here's the week 1 another surprise. Colts Texans. The tie.
That's definitely a surprise.
2020.
It was a
horrible year.
Puke fest.
It was not pretty, and four field goal attempts in overtime, and nobody could do it.
I honestly don't know how Indianapolis could even come close to tying with the Texans. I honestly don't. Like, you couldn't even talk me into that one. I mean, when you got the best running back in football, and you got good receivers, and you got a older but still really relevant quarterback, like, I just don't get it. And they also had one of the best defensive football last year.
They did.
So that was a shocker for sure. So I don't know if we're talking about Indianapolis not being good, or maybe Houston's just a lot better than we thought.
I don't think it's the latter of the two. You know, I think David Mills came in and did exactly what he needed to do. He didn't win, but he didn't lose. So I give David Mills all the credit in that tie.
He had a decent day.
He did,
and you know, he finished out last year with a few decent games too. So
he's looking up.
Yeah, he might be a good find.
He might be a bad for a Houston fit.
Sure.
But, you know, maybe he can get out of a contract next year and, you know, go to Atlanta, and maybe that's like a key for them. Or
well, Houston's got a lot of draft picks to use in the future, so they're gonna be rebuilding quick.
Well, hopefully they are rebuilding.
What they got out of the massage therapist was pretty amazing.
Yeah. Well, so Matt Ryan, you know, future Hall of Fame Matt Ryan,
Hall of Famer,
goes to Indianapolis with one of the best running games in the league, above mid receiving core.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're not. It's not a bad receiving core that he has. They just looked so rusty. I hate saying that for every team, but when you have a new quarterback coming into a system he's never done before, he's got to play preseason games.
Yeah.
You have to get that so they build that chemistry. No offense to practice. Practices are exactly what they should be, but you're not going to build a chemistry like you will on a field. I think
I heard somebody put out some numbers that on the teams that didn't play a lot of their starters, and
Yes.
they struggled.
A
in
lot
week
of
one.
them did.
Not all of them.
Not all of them, but a lot of teams did.
And I mean, I get it. You don't want to get a guy hurt, but Andy Reid always plays his guys. There's a few
At
coaches
least
that always stick
for
their
one
dudes in.
set.
Yeah, go get a series in.
Yeah.
Get out, because you can't recreate that in practice very well. You just can't.
No, going against another team defense that you don't know what they're doing.
Right.
Because if you practice with the same defense, you're like, I can see.
You have some pretty good guesses of what might
I
happen.
am 90% sure that this is a rush right side. He's gonna back off before I hike it, and
That's
then
right.
he's gonna bull rush in,
Yeah.
and you're just gonna know it. But when you go up against another team where you don't know, that rust comes off way faster
Yeah.
than. So it's It's just I don't know. I don't understand it, but they didn't look. Neither team looked amazing.
Houston's defense was a little surprised. They had some decent numbers.
Yes.
I wasn't expecting that, but I didn't follow them last year
Yeah.
a lot, because they won like 2 games. So, it wasn't like I was tuning into the Houston games.
Oh, you mean you weren't just
So-
sitting by the TV going,
Yeah.
"Come on, Houston, let's
no,
come on already."
But maybe their defense is a little bit better than we thought, or something. Or maybe I thought. I don't know.
Well,
Or maybe they're not. Maybe
Yeah.
maybe Indianapolis just had a bad day. So we'll find out.
no, that's gonna be.
That's
yeah.
what's fun about week 1 is you can figure out how many of this stuff is fluke and how many of this stuff is legit.
And week 1 is when you're like, "This team's gonna suck," and then week 2 you're like, "Nah, I was
Well,
wrong."
Maybe not.
Okay, I was real wrong.
I definitely, when we get into picks for this week, there's definitely some corrections, some corrections that I think some teams are going to make, but we'll find out.
Yeah.
If I'm remotely correct.
Oh, either of us, honestly.
That's true.
Next game, biggest upset of the weekend in my eyes, Giants versus Titans.
Now that one was
Oh,
that
thank
was
you.
fun.
Look, a drink just appears.
That was fun because the Giants fans have got something to be excited about.
Giants
And
defense.
that's a big deal. Big deal.
Their defense looked great.
'Cause
Say it.
Nope, you're good. I was interrupting you.
They put it to Derrick Henry and made sure that his entire game was just shut down completely. Derrick Henry had like 60 yards the whole day, something like that. I don't know exact numbers. I can check. It makes it easier so I don't seem like a complete idiot.
Yeah, man. The Giants defense impressed the
80
crap out of
yards.
me.
And then Saquon Barkley,
Stud.
healthy, is by far the most dominant running back in the league this year so far.
He's a stud monster when he's healthy, man. It's sad that we've missed him for a couple years because he's fun to watch, and he is just entertainment.
So,
And he's also a good dude, and I like listening to him in interviews. I like
Yes.
listening to him talk. He's a fun dude, and it's sad when those good dudes get years taken off their career because of stupid injuries. But that's football.
if he stays healthy, I think Saquon Barkley has a chance to be MVP.
Yeah,
Honestly,
absolutely.
that
It'll help if the Giants can keep winning too.
Yes.
But if he's healthy,
If he's
they will
healthy,
win.
they're going to keep winning.
That's right.
With Daniel Jones.
That's right.
Sorry, Jones, you didn't throw crap this weekend.
Yeah.
It was Saquon Barkley all day long. Over 160 yards.
I also
Unbelievable.
love the Giants coach. He's a good one, and I think that I don't think he's going to take the ball away from Saquon, and you're going to have to show him that
Yes.
He's going to be old school. We are running the ball and we're playing D.
Saquon said,
And if
I can run. He's like,
right.
let's run then. Yeah, I don't think he's worried about Saquon being hurt right now.
Nope.
I think Saquon has taken, he's been hurt the last 2 years, or maybe 3.
If you're healthy, get the horse out there
It's
on
like,
the track.
if
man.
you're good to go and you're telling me you're good to go, I'm going to trust you and we're just going to go for it.
Yep.
And he showed every bit of he was ready to go.
Yeah.
So, kudos to him. Claps all around.
Yeah, Saquon.
Saquon is, but only to beat the Titans by 1 point
Yep.
doesn't look great.
But Tennessee was, very recently in the deep playoff runs. So
Well, that was also
I don't know how far they've lost, but we know one name they lost.
Yeah,
but,
they lost Brown, and that was Eagles have him now.
Yeah. I fully expect Derrick Henry to be Derrick Henry again.
Oh, it's going to come back.
He still didn't have a horrible day. It just wasn't a Derrick Henry day.
No, there was.
And Tannehill is
he is. It's unfortunate that I say this. He looked like Derrick Henry in the playoffs last year.
Yeah.
He came
That's
back
true.
for the playoffs after
Tired.
being hurt. He just didn't. He didn't look the same.
I don't remember what his injury was. Do you remember right offhand?
I want to say it was ankle.
Well, man, I sure hope that's something that could linger. I hope that's not continually bothering him.
I think being in the off season and everything, I don't think it would still be hurting him.
You wouldn't think.
He was gone for the whole second half of last season.
Yeah.
Came back for the playoffs. Then you have 6 months before games start again. If it is still hurt, it's a reoccurring injury. It's not because from the original injury. But he did put out a bunch of workout videos over off season, which he absolutely could have hurt himself during workouts.
Yeah. He's a beast, man.
Yeah, he goes. His workouts are well beyond anything that I would think about trying to do.
They're like he's trying out for Mr. Universe or something. He's a monster.
He's a big boy.
But yeah, that's a tough one. All I got out of that really was the Giants look like they're going to be fun to watch.
Yeah.
And Tennessee is to be determined.
Yeah, I think we see close to, if not a winning season from the Giants this year.
Yeah.
If they keep playing like they did.
Yeah.
Because their schedule is, I think that it was like middle of the road for how difficult their season is.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they're not on the bottom, but they're not at the top. So they're gonna have some tough games.
Well, if they face a team that is built to take away the run, which a lot of teams aren't built for that nowadays.
No.
That'll be their problem.
Yeah.
If you take away the run, man, I don't want Daniel Jones, but up to the task. Like, I'm not ready for that yet. I've seen him play too much, but maybe he's better than I'm giving him credit for. But
when he got hurt last year, who was his backup? Do you remember? All right.
I do not. Not right offhand.
All right. Well, I was like, maybe his backup might be better than he is. I know Daniel Jones can run far, but staying on his feet's a different story.
Yeah.
Aha! Another slam. The next game, which is the game that I wanted to see go the other way, Raiders Chargers.
Raiders and Chargers.
Yeah.
Bumbling, stumbling.
I expected a close game, which it was.
You got that.
They went at each other. I think it could have been worse for the Raiders. I honestly do. They came out looking bad. Too much rust.
Well, they made a nice little comeback at the end.
Once the second half was all Raiders.
Yeah.
First half was all Chargers.
Yeah.
Chargers just did more in the first half
Yeah.
than the Raiders did in the second half.
I was actually kind of proud of the Raiders for not quitting and making a game of it.
Well, they
just ran out of time, but they made a run for that at the end.
I think this goes back to the not playing your starters during preseason.
Right.
They didn't play any of them any starter during preseason except for the Hall of Fame game, but that was Josh Jacobs and only Josh Jacobs.
Yep.
It was at that point at halftime in my head. I'm thinking you should just put in Stidham. Honestly, I was so upset with how bad the throws were.
Well, you hit that well.
Oh, dude, I was ready to let it go. I was so pissed. I couldn't.
Well, you know, Carr had good numbers, but man, what did he have? Three picks, something like that.
Oh, that wouldn't surprise me.
I think he had 3 picks, and then that forced fumble that he got.
The forced
chopped
fumble
out
at
of his
the
hand.
end was the worst.
But that was legit. Like
Yeah,
he couldn't
was.
have avoided that.
Yeah, he had 3 interceptions.
When that dude's coming after you and gets a chance to hack your arm, you can't be ready for that moment. You just can't. Now maybe he needs to throw it a little sooner, which is a Carr problem sometimes. But the Chargers are built to make you do that. Like that's what they're about, right?
Yeah.
I think we're going to see a whole bunch of that this year.
They have one of the best defenses in the league. Period.
On paper.
On paper.
And
they showed it.
Prove it. Yep,
they showed it.
Right.
Like I'm not even going to try and
Game
say,
1 they showed it.
Like I have to give, like I still a Raiders fan. It's not going to change. I've dealt with 10 years of death. Carr had almost 300 yards.
Yeah,
with
he had
two,
good
with,
numbers.
with 2 touchdown passes. And
Yep.
It's like that. You're doing good. He spread out his receivers through 8 different receivers. You know, that's I think a pretty good number for them.
Mm-hmm.
Fumbles killed us. Absolutely killed us. Carr had 2. Renfro had 1.
Did they lose those? Were those lost fumbles?
One of them was a lost fumble, but they were all 4 losses.
Yeah.
So it was like, defense did okay. I'm not gonna.
Yeah, I mean, no, they had to because I mean, come on, dude.
Yeah.
Herbert's legit.
Yeah, but
You know, he's missing a couple guys that are hurt, but Herbert is difficult.
Herbert had 3 touchdown passes, no interceptions, almost 300 yards on a 80% pass
They slowed him
percentage.
down.
You know,
They were their defense was bend but don't break, and they did a pretty good job.
they
of
rushed
it.
5 different guys.
Mm-hmm.
That is ridiculous. Or not, rushing yards. 5 different guys. Look at the list of receivers they threw to.
Mm-hmm.
That's like 11 different receivers. You didn't know where it was going.
Didn't even know you had that many on their roster.
Right. It's
I'm sure some of those are tight ends and
Yeah.
running backs, but
They only had 1 fumble that they didn't lose.
yeah.
So, yeah, it's...
You know, Vegas is, you know, they got all the weapons, and I think you're right. I just don't think they were ready. Dude, how rough is it that the first game you get is that D? I mean, that's not a good,
And a rivalry game.
That's not a
You
good way
think
to
that matters? I don't.
I just know the players get fired up for it a little
They
bit.
do,
but-
and you play. They're gonna get a rematch later this year
Yeah.
in Vegas. Could be a different story, but for now, kudos to Chargers for doing what they did. I'm an AFC West fan.
Yeah, you know, the Raiders have weapons. They made a comeback. It was a close game. Chargers have a killer defense, and that's really all I got out of that game.
Yeah,
Was on that day that the Chargers were just a couple points better. You know,
they were 1 score better.
yeah.
That's all it took for them. No, I think I think whatever happened at halftime when McDaniels went to the locker room and chewed their ass because they were down like 3-20 or something like that at half, or 3-21 or something stupid like that. Whatever he said sparked it up. Things turned around, started looking good.
Devontae Adams had a killer day. You know,
He had-
that's never gonna stop, and you know they need to use Waller a little bit more, but that's just me.
Waller got a few
He did
in
okay.
there, but he was.
I would want to use Waller more, and I would want to use
Renfro.
But-
Well, they didn't use Renfro at all the first half, which
well, and
you
then
know,
the second half, you got to make a comeback. So
Yep.
little 5-yard routes in the center of the field aren't what you're looking for
And-
necessarily.
Well, yeah. Well, Renfro still had a decent day. He wasn't
It's
completely unutilized, but he didn't have a
it's more for me about how many targets
yeah.
did they have, because sometimes they get knocked down or they
Yeah.
drop it. But if you're targeted a lot, then their plan was to get it to
Right,
him.
right. No, and he wasn't really targeted a lot, so unfortunate for them. But hey,
I fully expect the Raiders to figure it out,
I-
and I fully expect the Chargers defense to be great almost all year.
I expect it all. I expect the Chargers to get better, and I expect the Raiders to get better.
Yeah,
I don't see.
I bet every game in the AFC West is very similar to that. As far as winning by 3 to 7 points, I bet that's pretty normal.
Oh yeah.
Maybe not.
Maybe not for one team.
For one team that we haven't got to yet.
We're not there yet, but we'll talk about that one. Next game, the game everybody wanted to see, Packers-Vikings.
I was happy about this game because one of my other teams I'm on is the Minnesota bandwagon this year. I pick a few yearly teams where I'm like, okay, I'm on that team this year. One of them happens to be the Jets, okay, and laugh at me, whatever. I like to pick a crappy team that I can kind of be on board with. But my team, one of my main teams, and it's not just me. Like, it's not like I'm some brilliant genius here. A lot of people have picked Minnesota to win that division this year.
Yeah.
And I rightfully so. It looks ripe for the picking to me, because Green Bay just looks.
I'm also on that train that I think the Vikings are going to win the division. I'm still not off the train that Green Bay is going to make it a fight. I don't think they're all bad. I think there's a couple things that they absolutely need to work on. Like, there's no doubt about that. Rodgers has to start learning to throw to rookie receivers. It's his first time ever getting weapons from the draft, and they're staying on the team. He put that long bomb up to whoever his number one rookie receiver is. I don't even know his name.
Watson or Dubs, Doubs, Dubs.
I'm not sure which one it is, but it went up. He put his hands up, and it went
perfect.
right through his hands.
And he was wide open.
He was wide open.
And that would have changed the whole complexity of the game.
Absolutely.
Because that would have been immediately 7-0 Packers.
Yep. It was so...
And that's all it takes to piss Aaron Rodgers off.
Yeah. And
I don't blame him, but...
Yeah. Rodgers he wasn't himself. He didn't have Lazard. I'm not making excuses for him.
Dude.
He didn't have Lazard. He lost his number one receiver. He has Sammy Watkins and Randall Cobb,
old guys,
as his veterans.
Yeah, and they didn't do nothing.
It's like he has to figure out a different way to play.
They also have an extremely insane running back duo that
we barely saw anything from.
And they're both receivers as well.
Yes.
And but once you get down, it's hard to run the ball. But,
yeah. Well.
But I don't know. I think the play calls were bad. Like I didn't like a lot of things about that Green Bay game.
No.
But I was happy for Minnesota because my God, they're loaded. They got so much talent. You know, they just have so many good players on that team.
I think we're looking at a new time when Green Bay's not going to be on the top anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It's all going to be Vikings, and I think Green Bay is going to struggle for a single year.
Yeah.
And figure it out.
Aaron Rodgers is retiring after this year, and so is Tom Brady. Enjoy it, folks. This is their last 2 years.
I guarantee Aaron Rodgers, and he signed a 3-year contract last year.
It doesn't really mean anything.
No.
You know that, right?
He know.
Can quit whenever he wants to.
He wants the money, man. He wants the money.
But in Minnesota's defense, I mean, good Lord, right? 7 points to Green Bay, and Aaron Rodgers under 200 yards passing.
Yeah,
that's insane. And if they got a good defense to go with all that talent on offense, dude, Minnesota's going to be tough.
Never been done before.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's ever had less than 200 yards in any game.
I think he had 195. Is that right? I have it written down. He had 195.
I could double check.
It was just a note I made because it was like it blew my mind to see.
I absolutely yep.
Well,
195. They brought in Jordan Love. I did not realize that Jordan Love.
Well, it was ugly.
Jordan Love came in, was 4 for 5 for 65 yards.
There's your next quarterback,
dude. And Rodgers had an interception, which he only had like 4 of them last year.
I'm ready for Jordan Love. I'm done with Aaron Rodgers news.
Dude, that's
and his interviews. I'm done with Aaron Rodgers.
Funny. Yeah, you know.
I do love Kirk Cousins though.
Jones and Dillon, who
those are the two guys.
Didn't even combine 100 yards.
That's ridiculous.
That is. Yeah.
That's. You can't have that happen. You just can't. And Green Bay normally has a good defense too, but I think Minnesota's going to do that to a lot of people.
And then Justin Jefferson, let's give him the credit.
He doesn't suck.
Let's give him the credit he deserves. 184 yards for 2 touchdowns. 64 was his longest touchdown.
And I believe that he had a couple passes. I don't remember if it was a drop, a batted down, something. But he could have easily put over 200 up on that.
He had nine, count them, only 9 targets.
That's amazing.
And he made that happen out of 9 targets.
He's a freak. Yes, Saquon Barkley and Justin Jefferson. Hello.
Let's put them on the same team and see how well the world works.
Hopefully, I can coach that team.
I'll coach. Yeah.
I'll coach that team. What's next?
The blowout game.
The blowout game.
The Chiefs versus Cardinals.
That's one of those games where it's like I don't really know what I took from that. I think Arizona still is going downhill. They really struggled at the end of last year. I expected the Chiefs to beat them, but that was stupid. That was stupid.
When you say you don't know what to take from it, I am 100% with you. Cardinals, and this is not an excuse. I don't care. They are all professionals. They should at least be close. Close games. Cardinals had like 7 starters hurt on defense.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that is the reason this happened. Those 7 starters could have been on there, and they still lost by 23. It's just when you have...
Well, they lost by more than 23 in my book.
Because
they scored 14 at the very end.
Once they took all the starters out. Chiefs are just as explosive as they would be. If anyone,
that didn't surprise me.
If anyone thought otherwise, you're high. But guess what? No, they did not throw a ball for 60 yards.
No.
That was not a thing that happened. Mm-mm. Everyone knew that.
Nope.
But Juju got the ball. Scantling got the ball. Their run game looked good. Mahomes still scrambles like he did. Yeah. Kelsey still is a beast. It doesn't surprise me.
They're spread out big time.
I am a little surprised by the Chiefs' defense.
Yeah.
I think the Chiefs' defense got better.
Well, they should. They should be better. They put a lot into getting a new defense out there.
Right.
But I still am not sure if the Chiefs' defense is that much better or if Arizona just isn't very good on offense anymore.
Well, they got Hollywood Brown. No, they didn't have Hopkins. Ertz was hurt.
Hollywood had a decent day.
He had an okay day. I wouldn't even say he had an okay day. I think it was below his average, what he usually does.
Yeah.
But, they got... It's crazy when...
And James Conner, they didn't even run the ball. But again, they were getting drubbed from...
from minute 1.
I think
they couldn't do anything.
Started off 14-0 or 14-3 or something. I don't remember what it started out with, but they just stopped running it.
Yeah, well...
Because James Conner,
They needed to slow down the game.
They sure did.
And what they did was they tried to play to the Chiefs' tempo,
Yeah.
which you can't do. You need to get the best way to beat Mahomes is keep Mahomes off the field.
Yeah.
And if you're gonna play it that way, you gotta run the ball, nickel and dime. You're not looking for far passes.
Right.
You want 8 first downs every single drive. Use up 10 minutes of the clock. That's the way you beat the Chiefs.
And force the Chiefs to kick a field goal
And,
once in a while.
well, since their safety is their kicker,
Yeah.
well, Butker will be back. They just signed another one. They're fine.
Yeah, that was a surprise in a different way for me because I didn't think it was going to go down.
To
quite that
sprain
bad.
your ankle on the kickoff of the game, it's like, oh, all right.
When you watched it in slow motion, it definitely went.
It definitely went sideways. The whole thing went sideways. Oh, the whole game went sideways real quick.
And it would have been better if that was his kicking foot instead of his plant foot.
Hey, he got back in the game. He kicked some field
did.
goals. He didn't do any kickoffs, but he kicked some field goals. He was a little slower, but I think that's to be given.
Yeah.
You know, you're not going to go out there and try the same thing again
I think he's just going to be
in fear.
Slow. Just going to be sore, not slow. I think he's just going to be sore for a week or two, and then he'll be good.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's going to be that much of a big deal. I mean, now they have who they signed? Amendola,
Yeah,
not Danny Amendola.
and not the receiver.
Yeah.
Yeah, Amendola. And
When you told me that, I was
yeah.
like, they signed a wide receiver to replace Butker.
well, I mean, we have a safety kicking now. May as well add a wide receiver to the kicking
I mean,
team.
yeah, why not? You know.
Yeah,
Then he has another. Then Mahomes has another weapon also.
We'll have to see. I don't know. I don't remember Amendola much.
I don't
who
either.
he played for, whether he was any good or not. Obviously, he's not great if he's a free agent and out there sitting waiting. But
Well, I mean, most teams only have one kicker.
well, yeah, you don't keep 2 kickers.
it's
Yeah.
like one kicker and then one punter. And
they don't get hurt very often.
if my kicker could punt, I would have one for the whole shebang.
yeah,
but
yeah,
and then my holder will be my backup quarterback.
yeah.
Honestly,
There you go.
that would be me.
Yeah, because I want extra running backs at
Yep.
receivers
Yep.
or D line or offensive lineman for sure.
I have better positions to fill.
Yeah.
So good.
Stupid kickers. Nobody needs them.
Nobody needs a kicker.
Until you need.
It is a weird thing.
Until you need to win a game.
It's a weird. That's a weird transition in football because you're looking at like a whole series is just pounding, beating the crap out of each other. Could last 10 minutes, and then everybody, you can't touch that guy, and you have to let him kick. It's a weird transition.
Sure is.
I get rid of kicking. No offense, get rid of kicking. It's or make it more exciting where they can light him up. That would be dangerous. That'd be way too dangerous.
Then you're gonna need more kickers on your roster.
Well, not if you got Pat McAfee. Ooh.
Pat McAfee. I don't think he looked like that when he played.
He didn't. He's not small now though.
He got a old man belly gone on him.
He's still pretty
He is. He's
pretty
fine.
good, man. Now he does the whole wrestling thing, but
I forgot about that.
yeah. Sunday night game. Buccaneers versus Cowboys.
Yep.
Poor Dak.
Cowboys are just a shit show, and Dak getting hurt didn't even really have anything to do with it for me.
No,
They look terrible before he even got hurt. Like they're just bad. If they're not gonna give it to Pollard, then I'm not even gonna care about what they do, because Pollard's better than Zeke, and I want to see that.
Zeke is not. He's not their answer. They overpaid him.
And CeeDee Lamb,
CeeDee Lamb is good,
but
but you have to you have to put someone else in there with him. You can't just be like, we have one receiver, one running back, one quarterback. Let's go. All three of them are overpaid. It's, they overpaid for Amari Cooper last year. They bit the bullet. Now Amari Cooper is gone, and he's for the Browns as well.
I don't think. Then Dallas is never going to be good until Jerry Jones lets somebody else be the general manager. Like he needs to go away and just.
They do have a general manager. The problem is the general manager listens to everything Jerry Jones says.
Because he has to.
No, hell, I'm fired.
You're fired.
I'm fired.
You would be fired.
I am fired because if you're hiring me for a job,
right.
Let me do my job.
I agree.
Don't tell me as an owner who doesn't play football, who literally just came into money, that I should do a different job because you want it done.
Right.
Jerry Jones is an idiot. I don't care, and he should literally stay out of football. He should sit in his private yacht and just watch the game. Watch his team win. But no. Gotta get... This is our number one pick. No. No, it's not. You shouldn't be on camera during the draft. You just need to stay out of there.
Yeah, I'm not... I don't like Jerry Jones. I don't like the coach. I'm not a Zeke lover. I like Dak. He's a good dude, and it's unfortunate he plays for Dallas. But and I love Pollard. I think Pollard's amazing.
Pollard is better
I wish
than
they'd
Zach.
give him the ball a lot more, or throw more passes to him.
Yeah.
But hey, man, I'm gonna be on the Cooper Rush bandwagon if that's who they end up starting, because he's gonna be fun to watch, and he's not gonna be thought of as anyone that's good.
No,
so I'm gonna be cheering for him.
Dude, that's just like DiNucci.
Go back, Ben DiNucci.
Dude, I was all about DiNucci last year.
DiNucci didn't show enough last year, evidently.
He didn't, and he didn't show it in preseason either. It was just. I thought he deserved a chance as at least a backup, and
Cooper Rush can run the ball, and I think he's going to be just a serviceable backup.
So I want to
for a few weeks.
This is what I want to show or talk about with the Cowboys really quick. Okay. So Cooper Rush came in the second half after Prescott got hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It was Cooper almost threw half as much as Dak did. Okay?
Really?
Yeah, almost half. His numbers are exactly comparable to half of what Dak did.
Wow.
In the first half, except for Cooper Rush didn't throw an interception.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody threw any touchdowns.
Hey man, give him a shot. Let's see what he looks like.
It's like his numbers are. It was above 500, where Dak Prescott, he was above 50% for completion rating, where Dak was below 50% in completion rating.
Yeah.
Cooper Rush he is Dak Prescott.
Yeah.
Like,
we'll see if he can get the offense going a little bit better.
I don't think they're going to miss a beat, honestly.
Yeah.
I don't.
Well, they were missing a whole lot of beats with Dak, so
yeah.
I don't know if that's good for Cooper Rush at all or not. But
whatever they do is going to be exactly the same as what it would have been.
And to be a little fair, they were playing what I consider to be the best defensive football.
You're not wrong.
Tampa Bay is not fun.
But
maybe the Chargers will unseat them as the best defense, but Tampa's a rough, dude. They are not fun.
Tampa
has all over the place, getting everybody. They got the amazing D-backs and safeties, and I just that's a rough game. I think Dak would have looked a little better had he been playing a different defense.
Very likely. It's one of those things that you can't say enough about the Buccaneers, really, because they defied logic with 2 years ago, of course. Tom Brady goes in there, takes them to the Super Bowl, wins the Super Bowl, handily wins the Super Bowl. Once again, the year after, going back to playoffs,
Almost getting there.
almost getting there. And then, he retires, unretires, comes in this year, and doesn't play a single snap in preseason.
Only practice 1 week.
He's gone for 11 days completely off the grid, singing. I mean, no, he literally just the guy is inhuman.
He is.
He misses all this stuff, comes back, doesn't miss a beat. To be fair, they only scored 19 points.
They did.
So that lets me know that Dallas's defense is probably pretty legit.
Well, they were legit last year. They do have good defense.
The only problem is they weren't legit enough to keep them out of field goal range.
They weren't.
Because they scored 4 field goals.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Tom Brady was kind of meh, but that's to be expected,
Yeah.
against a good defense and very rusty, just getting warmed up.
Yeah.
And they relied on Fournette, who's a beast monster.
He is.
And he did most of the damage in that game.
Well, he did not. It was not only just running though. Fournette caught
He
quite a
catches
few.
everything, yeah.
And
Brady likes to throw to him for sure.
they hit Evans, did a little bit of damage. Julio was slightly targeted, but he didn't.
He looks like he's going to be okay.
I think
if
he'll be
stays
fine.
healthy, he's fine. I like Julio.
I think he's filling in that Antonio Brown role where you're not our number one,
Right.
but you are one of our higher options.
Very important.
And I was I didn't think Chris Godwin would be there for the first week.
I was surprised.
And he got in there and did a little bit, and I was like, okay, well, he
looked decent.
You have a huge opportunity then this year if this is how it's going to work. It's I was super excited for all that. But no, I took exactly what I thought I would from that game. And
then Godwin got hurt again.
well, hurt.
Yeah, no. Tampa Bay, that's just an ugly win, and Dallas looked terrible, so that's just about all you can say.
Well, Dallas didn't look terrible.
I thought they did.
Well, their defense.
There's probably some good things to get out of it.
Their offense looked pretty bad.
Yeah.
But their defense, I thought, did not look bad.
Well, that's true. I don't mean Dallas as a
Yeah.
whole. Their defense is good. Micah Parsons is amazing. I like that kid.
Yeah, fuck.
He's fun to watch.
Defensive player of the year right there.
Diggs. They got Diggs, too, so
Yeah.
he's fun. But I don't know if they're good enough to have that carry him very far or not. But
yeah. So, last game,
and then we move on to our picks.
Yeah, last game. So, before, the game was Broncos versus Seattle.
Wah, wah.
I am going to have an outing right now. I have to apologize to the Seahawks. All of them. Seahawks fans, the whole franchise, the state of Seattle, or the state of Washington. Everyone in the Northwest I have to apologize to, because I have been the most critical person probably about the Seahawks just being a garbage franchise this year. Just everybody who existed, I haven't said a single nice thing about them if it wasn't me being sarcastic or joking about it. So, one, I apologize to Geno Smith for going out there and doing exactly what he needed to do, because and Pete Carroll came out with a great scheme for this game. It was, you guys did what you needed to do. You won the game.
The fans showed up.
12th man showed up.
Which is crazy because you thought you had a terrible team, or at least everyone else did, but you guys didn't. Everybody showed up.
You did exactly what you needed to do. So hands off to you. I give you the Spudwick claps.
Good job, Seahawks.
Now in that case, God, it was an ugly game from both teams.
Atrocious. It was atrocious. We live in NFC West country, so we don't like the donkeys.
AFC West country.
AFC West, my bad.
Yeah.
We don't like the donkeys around here. and I thought that Denver was gonna put a whooping on them. But man, from the get go, it was not pretty. They were sloppy.
Yeah.
Seattle was playing with heart. Their defense was all over the field. They were kicking butt, man. It was fun to watch.
I think both defenses were really good.
Yes.
I think both offenses were mediocre at best.
Yep. You know, because Geno did what he needed to do, but
Yes.
he's never going to be a sexy stat line, you know, for fantasy football or whatever. You know, he gets it done.
Right.
But he's not amazing or anything like that.
Right.
You know, but that defense was spectacular, and I love the fire.
I couldn't agree more. Like, it's
Absolutely disappointed in Denver though. Their offense,
Yeah.
is.
I'm
Yeah.
almost as disappointed in Denver as I am with Jacksonville.
Yeah,
Almost. You guys,
Denver has
if you hadn't come back and made a game, I would be more disappointed in you.
Mm-hmm. Denver has one of my favorite running backs in football.
I also didn't know that they paid their punter $234 million on 4th and 5.
Mhm. Yes. I'm proud of the Denver coach for coming out and saying, "Hey, you know, I wish I could do it again. I wouldn't have done that, but I'm glad he took ownership of it." But I think everyone knew that was a mistake. You know, you've traded all these picks to get Russell Wilson, and you've got all these offensive weapons, and you're going to put your faith in a giant long field goal like that.
It's not that McManus couldn't make it.
Right.
It's like
Obviously, he could make it. They knew he could make it. That's why they went for
But
it.
I told you this yesterday. If after that first where they tried to ice him and he still kicked the ball
Mhm.
and he was so wide left.
Mhm.
I mean, that was so bad. Why would you try it?
Yeah. I don't know. I just there's a million players on that team you could have thrown the ball to or done a screen to Javonte Williams, whatever. I mean, you got to go for that 5 yards to
Yeah.
me, but hey, you know, they'll we'll see if Denver's going to be that sloppy in the future or if they'll get it taken care of and corrected. But that was pretty gross.
That's one of the teams that didn't set their starters, by the way.
Yeah.
Like they worked things out in preseason.
Yeah.
Didn't work out very well, apparently.
I need more Cortland Sutton and Javonte Williams. I know that.
Yeah.
I mean, any fantasy football people out there probably want more of that too.
Javonte Williams had a good week though for fantasy.
It was decent. I was expecting more.
Hey, he broke projected.
I wanted him to.
I don't know why anyone else would expect any more
Kill
from a
it.
player than projected.
I don't do projected. That's what ESPN or Yahoo says or whatever.
But it's pretty accurate.
Sometimes. Josh Allen gets projected for 26 and gets 42 like almost every week. So I'm like, why don't you just project him? Still, you upset? Yeah, no doubt, dude.
That's my less than a point.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Javonte is a stud. They need to use him like he's a stud.
well, they will. They're gonna change
He's a
things.
big,
and-
fast, physical running back, and I didn't think they used him enough last year, but he was a rookie, so
Yeah, well, that's hard to put your trust in a rookie.
it is. I get it.
But no, it's fine. I think as weeks go on, and Russ gets more comfortable.
Robin Hood, I still can't believe that you lost by less than 1 point, like .42 or some weird number.
Yeah,
That is nuts. I don't even know how that's possible. We don't have round numbers, obviously.
we do not.
In our fantasy scoring.
Nope, I won't.
Shenanigans.
I don't. I think it makes it more fun to have the decimal out there.
Mm.
I demand a recount.
Well, at least there's no ties.
Yeah, you can never tie in our league. If you do tie in our league, that is unlucky. That is
It's
lucky.
stolen from you.
Fantasy fraud.
Fake news. Recount. Yes. Yes. Well, we'll find out what's up with Denver real quick. I know I keep saying we'll find out.
Well,
but that's
you
what
can't.
week one does to my brain, because it's like, well, I know what I think I saw there, but
You can't take.
I need confirmation.
Yeah, you can't take week one and be like, this is exactly what's going to happen
Sure.
all season.
Well, Giants might be in the Super Bowl if we did that. Giants and Bears
Giants
for
and
the
Bills.
NFC Championship game.
No. NFC. That'd be crazy. I think that would be better once Russ steps up and tells the coach he runs the show.
Well, I think in that game, Russell Wilson should have been the coach.
They should have went for it on 4th and 5.
I like their coach, but he's got some learning to do, obviously.
No, it'll be it's a good learning lesson for them.
It is.
And as long as they learn from it, we'll be good.
Yeah.
If they don't learn from it, that's a completely different thing. But we'll see this week, who learns and who doesn't.
Right. Yeah, the second one definitely looked better than the first one. I thought it was going to hook in, but it still missed by quite a bit. I think it looked good on TV. I think it looked good on TV. I'm going to take a really, really quick 2-second break.
Okay. I'll mute yours. Okay. Yeah, it was what'd you? No, the first week of games was really good. I didn't want to talk about it on Thursday because, we're now a week ahead of the first game. We'll get timing worked out for this. We plan on doing our little football talk every single week, maybe once or twice a week. We're trying to get this going for like Tuesday morning and then like Saturday morning, just so we have everything. That way we can give early picks for Thursday and then we'll have picks for Sunday to give advice for that. And I have this is perfect time since he's gone. I can give you guys who I believe are people you should watch on the waiver this week, because in the waiver there's a bunch of guys who either are playing bad teams this week or are they had a great last week and there's a potential for them to be better. So I'm going to go over what I like to call the waiver watch. I have 8 guys. Oh, sorry, I'll turn yours back on. I've got 8 guys that I believe are going to have an above average week, mainly because of how they performed, because of injuries, or because of just probably have earned the spot over the guy in front of them because of, you're good. My first waiver watch player is Carson Wentz. If you're in a smaller league, a lot of people will overlook Wentz because, there are better options out there. But if you need a QB, say you had Dak Prescott and he got hurt, Wentz this week will be a great change, because they're going up against the Commanders are going up against the Lions. The Lions allowed 455 yards and 28 or 38 points last week. Carson Wentz most likely is going to have maybe not those numbers, but they're going to allow points, and I think he will be above average more than, maybe not as much as last week, or maybe more, because they did go up against Jacksonville and handed it to them. The Lions, I think he's still gonna have a fantastic week for week 2. Jeff Wilson for the 49ers. With injuries, he could possibly be RB1 this week. He might take the most snaps, so that's someone to look out for. You know, he took about 1/3 of the snaps last week. I think he has a chance of pulling it up and continuing this week with just as good numbers as he would have taken the majority snaps last week. Jamal Williams for the Lions. You're still going up against the Commanders. Like, he's not great. He's a running back 2, but he had more carries than running back 1 with 2 rushing touchdowns, same as Kareem Hunt did last week, and Kareem Hunt had a fantastic week. So you have to look at that for this week. Rex Burkhead, he had more carries than his RB1 and also as a receiving running back. He put up well above average numbers, and he's going to continue with average numbers. And he is only in rosters for 20% of all NFL leagues.
Burkhead passed the eye test for me. He looks good. I like him.
Absolutely. Devin Duvernay for
Duvernay.
Duvernay.
Oh, oui, oui.
He's wide receiver 3 for Baltimore. Had more catches and more yards than their wide receiver 2. So if you're looking for that one extra, if you're in a bigger league and you're looking for that one extra guy, I would suggest Duvernay. Curtis Samuel, huge volume last week.
I like that one a lot.
He looks like Wentz's guy. He looks like if Wentz has an option and he's open, it's gonna go to him. So Curtis Samuel, if you pick up Carson Wentz, you might be able to double up your points getting Curtis Samuel as well.
Or at least if you got bench spots, put some of these guys on your bench and see what they turn out to be. You might get a good one for later in the season.
I didn't know who this guy was until I looked him up this morning or last night. Joshua Palmer.
Oh, Chargers.
He is a Charger. With Keenan Allen missing a week, somebody has to fill in for him. It's looking like Palmer's probably going to be that guy.
He looks good as well.
He looks good, but it's only for 1 week. This isn't something that you're going to hold on to for long. That this guy just might be a 1 week thing. And then I actually have a tight end on my list. This is my last halfway sleeper. Hayden Hurst. He is for the oh my God. Who is he for?
Hurst?
Bengal. He is for the Bengals.
Yeah, because he took Ertz's spot.
Yeah, he's for the Bengals. And he had, out of all tight ends, he had the 4th most targets out of any tight end. So
that means they're trying to get it to him.
They're going to try and keep getting it to him. And he's the dump down guy for Burrow. So if you're looking for a tight end, maybe yours didn't show up very well last week, but if you're looking for a tight end, Hurst is it.
I like Okwabunum too, but isn't he Cincinnati as well?
Yeah.
But they ended up throwing it to Hurst more, which was weird, surprising to me. I thought Okwabunum would be the guy. I don't even know if I'm saying that name right, but
it's
Okwa, whatever his nickname is. Yeah. I can't remember it.
Big O.
Big O. Yeah.
He's not Ostertag. What are you talking about?
Big O.
You want to get into picks this week?
Let's get to it, baby.
All right.
This is what we came for.
These are the no, exit out of that real quick.
And if we do what we said, where we break this into 2 segments, where we talk about the games that happened, and then we do our picks on a different day. This won't be quite as long of a
like this
a stream.
If we do it, if we split this into 2, about now would be where we would end our Tuesday show, pretty much. If we end up
doing that,
which I want to, but that's
it's
up to him. So I got my picks right here.
I've got mine written down.
Yours are right here.
Yeah, I mean, I wrote down. I gave myself a few things
Okay,
to discuss.
good. Because I'll.
I put it all in one thing so I could keep organized.
All right. Easiest thing. We'll start with tonight's game.
Oh boy, here
got-
it comes.
we got-
Amazon Prime.
We got Chargers versus Chiefs.
Prime time, prime time, prime time. And they even paid him to be on the commercials. Of course, Deion Sanders will never turn down $1.
Yo, it's because he's prime time.
He's prime time. All right, you threw this one out, so I'll let you talk first, and then I will jump in at the end and give my
Okay.
quick opinion. That way we're not saying the same
Yeah.
things.
I think he's already given predictions.
35-27.
I think this is
okay.
going to be it's a rivalry game. They're both coming off of wins. Chargers have one injury that I know of.
Two.
Two injuries? Who's the two injuries?
J.C. Jackson's still possibly out, and he's their best defensive back.
Okay.
But yes, Keenan Allen's the other one.
Yeah. So, Chiefs are looking good. They also have a couple injuries in Butker and
Trent McDuffie, their rookie D-back, and then they got an offensive lineman that's banged up a little bit too.
yeah. So, I think they kind of even out a little bit, not a whole lot. I think overall it is a home game. Chiefs fans are going to be there in numbers. They're going to be loud. I don't think it's going to be too much for the Chargers to handle. But overall, I think that the Chiefs are going to be more explosive. They're going to come out. They're going to set the pace. I absolutely am going to take Chiefs over Chargers. I'm not going to put a number on it, but Chiefs over Chargers.
I think the Chargers are gonna give the Chiefs something that they're not ready for a little bit, and I think Mahomes is gonna make some mistakes. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a fumble or two, an interception or two. I don't think the Chargers are necessarily gonna slow down or stop the Chiefs, but I think there'll be some turnovers, and quite likely for the Chiefs as well. I wouldn't be surprised if they get Herbert once or twice, or maybe a running back fumble or something. Special teams is where the Chiefs usually can get away on this one, but I think it's going to be a close game, and I would say this is probably going to come down to how more appropriate than the Chiefs' brand new kicker kicking a field goal to win the game with no time on the clock. So I'm just going to go Chiefs by 3. Something like that. I don't think it's going to be low scoring. So Robin Hood, I like your numbers there. So what's that? That's 50.
What do you
we're
think?
At 62 points. Is that? That would definitely be over. I'm guessing, or pretty close on the over under. But that's a pretty good number. I would just have it a little bit closer than that score. So. Yeah, I think it's going to be a battle to the bitter end. I don't know. I'd be surprised if the Chargers, won by more than 10, and I'd be surprised if the Chiefs kicked their butt. So I just fully expect it to be a close game.
Oh, absolutely.
So we agree on that one. The Chiefs get that one. I got Miami and Baltimore next. Is that a noon on Sunday game?
That is a noon.
Okay. I didn't necessarily write them down in the same order as that, but so Miami Dolphins at Baltimore Ravens. This is one that is kind of difficult for me. This is a toss-up. I could easily pick either one of these teams, and I guess what I'm going on here is I'm going to count on the home game for Baltimore, a little bit of a sloppy last game, and I think their defense is going to give Miami a little bit more of an issue. So I'm looking for Miami maybe not to be quite so sexy, and Tua might struggle a little bit more in this one. And I'm picking Baltimore by 1 point.
Ooh.
1 point.
1 point.
And Vegas has this at 3.5. Baltimore favored by 3.5 points.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be betting on this
You're
game.
taking
Is
a-
what I'm getting at. I would not be putting money on that Chiefs game either.
Well, this is how I see it. Miami last week had a hell of a game against a team that's supposed to have a really good defense. They didn't look like a really good defense, and that could be for two reasons. One, Miami's just that good, or they're not a good defense. I'm going for the upper half on that, where I think Miami is way better than what everybody's giving them credit for.
Yeah.
No, they don't. For everybody who wants to say it, go ahead, keep saying it. He can't throw to hell. Guess what? He did it last week, and he'll do it again this week. I don't think they're going to miss a step. I think Baltimore lost too many weapons in the offseason. Even though it's in Baltimore, I think Miami comes in there and they put it to them, and I give Miami the win by 3.
There you go. He's on the Dolphins wagon. You know how I was saying we kind of pick a couple teams that maybe you're on that year, not necessarily a fan per se, but you just kind of pick them. Dolphins is one of his babies. I can already tell it's forming.
I love
another thing.
Tagovailoa.
Baltimore's without Dobbins again. You know, I'm pretty sure he's going to be out, and their cornerback tore his ACL, and then their offensive tackle tore his Achilles all last week.
Oh.
So Baltimore's going to be filling in with some new guys. So
Miami by 4 now.
Yeah, Miami by 4. Add another point. Okay. All right. So we slightly disagree on that one.
Yeah. What's tell me what your next one is.
New England and Pittsburgh.
All right, New England and Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh showed up against a team this week that they probably shouldn't have. They won barely. It wasn't by 3 points. So Steelers are, they got something. They got their first win of the season. They're gonna keep trying to roll that out. Patriots, they're still looking for their first win. They need to do something with the offense this week. If they're gonna do anything, I know you go over injuries and stuff in a minute, but overall, this could be a toss-up. Either team, I think, could win this game, but I have to make a decision. I don't think either one of them.
Make a choice.
I don't think either one of them are going to look impressive this week, but I do have Pittsburgh over New England, and I give them by 7.
I couldn't agree with that more. If Pittsburgh was playing anybody else, I would have struggle picking them on this one, but for New England, is Mac Jones okay? Like, he hurt his back. I don't know. Evidently, he's practicing. Everything's fine, but I don't know. That doesn't mean he's okay. For Pittsburgh, is Najee Harris, they say he's okay, but, man, that's a running back, and he's a big dude.
You just got to trust what they say.
T.J. Watt, they lost their biggest weapon on defense. That's a huge loss. He's the captain. Like, he's everything to that defense. I don't like this. I would never pick Pittsburgh in this situation, but I think New England is so bad and ugly right now. I just can't do it. In Pittsburgh, I just can't do it. So I'm going to go Pittsburgh by 3 only.
Ooh, only 3. All right.
I think there's going to be a lot of close games this week.
Well, we're going to get to one.
I mean, I guess last week there was quite a few close games.
I have a pick that's not going to be a close one.
Okay, well, there you go.
That's later.
Okay. I know which one you're talking about.
I bet you do.
Yeah. I have New York Jets and Cleveland next.
Yep. At
Cleveland. Cleveland's favored by about 6 to 7 points in this one. And honestly, that sounds a little low, but there's a reason it's that way. I don't think Cleveland can score enough points to win by a whole bunch. So I think those lines are going to be low on purpose. No Zach Wilson. The Jets safety Whitehead is probably out. The Browns made it out of their game mostly healthy. With the killer running back game, I mean, obviously I'm going to pick Cleveland, but I don't know if this is a game where the Jets show a little bit more or not. I would start Elijah Moore if you guys have him on your fantasy team, though. I think he's going to have a good day. I picked Cleveland by 7.
You said everything. There's nothing else I can say that's.
Am I going too deep when I talk?
No. You're.
I'm taking your stuff.
No, there's not a lot to say about this game. It's a crap game of the week for me. I just don't see this being exciting. I probably will have. It'll probably be on in the background that I look at twice because the ending score is literally going to be 7-3.
It's going to be.
That's just how it is. And I agree with you. I think Cleveland wins by 4, barely winning it. There's not going to be much scoring in this.
It's going to be a turd show.
Yeah.
Turd show.
Which one?
Washington at Detroit. You can go. You can.
Washington
at
Detroit. All right. So this is this one for me is the better of two turds, because I don't think that Washington is very good, and the Lions have always been bad, but the Lions showed stuff last week that makes me think that they're going to be pushing it a little bit more this year. They allow a lot of yards on defense, but after last week, they put up a lot of yards on offense. So it's hard to choose. Washington had a close game. Probably shouldn't have won, but they came back. Commanders, go Commies. I just don't think Wentz can pull it off 2 weeks in a row. I honestly don't. And Detroit looked better to me than Washington did. I'm taking Detroit, but I'm taking Detroit by 5 points.
I like that. Both of these teams were mostly healthy. Detroit's got too many weapons for me. Swift and St. Brown especially. I think they're going to have big games. Washington's got a decent defense, but if the Detroit fans are excited whatsoever, hopefully they'll show up for this game because they haven't had a good team for a long time. So I'm picking Detroit by 3. Indianapolis at Jacksonville. Let's see here. Jacksonville's made it out healthy on theirs. Darius Leonard used to be Darius Leonard. Now it's Shaq Leonard for Indianapolis. He's questionable, which is a big deal. He's pretty nasty on the D-line. I'm ready for Jacksonville to show something here. And maybe they will, but I just can't. And I know Indianapolis laid a big old turd last week, but I'm not ready to sit here and say Indianapolis is going to lose their first 2 games and one of them to Jacksonville. I just can't do it. So with Taylor and Pittman, I think it's going to be a big fantasy day, and Indianapolis is favored by 4 to 5 points. And I'm just going to go with Indy by 3. Another close one.
Well, with Indianapolis, they didn't lose their first game. They tied their first game. But guess what? They tied against Houston. So, I don't think...
That's a loss.
That is... yeah, it is. But doesn't go down as a loss. I'm not saying that Indianapolis is going to win this next game. I'm just going to say they're not going to lose this next game. That's for sure. Jacksonville is nothing impressive once again, and changes have to be made this week. I think Lawrence throwing to Kirk needs to be a little bit better, and they got to get Zay Jones in on the fact for all that. But I don't think that it's going to be a high scoring game. Maybe 20-17 or something like that. But I also have Indianapolis winning by 3.
Look at us agreeing on everything.
Yeah, look at us.
It doesn't happen very often, y'all.
You have Tampa Bay or
Yep.
okay, Tampa Bay versus New Orleans. Okay, little stat for you.
Rivalry game.
I don't care about that. I care that since Tom Brady has went to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, he has never went to New Orleans during the regular season and won. That is by far the craziest stat ever for him to lose 4 times in 2 seasons to one team.
That's crazy.
That is not a good regular season stat.
Some of those involve Drew Brees, though.
2 of them do. Last year they didn't.
That's
They
true.
didn't. It involved Jameis Winston and Taysom Hill. But I think that this year, I think Tom Brady breaches the hump. I think Tom Brady goes into New Orleans and puts an absolute smattering on the Saints.
Ooh.
I think this is going to be the revenge game for him that he never deserved. This is going to be an easy 10-point win for Tampa Bay this week.
Ooh, going big dog on the Bucks. I think this game is the only reason Giselle let Tom Brady come back was because she's like, you need to learn how to beat them, and I think this is why he's back. So I'm with you. Godwin's out. They have an offensive tackle that's out. My concern with the New Orleans is what is up with Alvin Kamara. You know, his ribs, whatever is going on there. He barely did anything last week, and that's when a running back has a rib problem. That's bad news. So, I think Tampa Bay gets it figured out a little bit. Looks much better on offense. Their defense, New Orleans ain't gonna score hardly anything. I'd be surprised. So I'm gonna go ahead and go Tampa Bay by 6. Vegas has them favored by 3. I don't see it, but New Orleans will be a home dog. So
Yeah.
those are good bets sometimes. Tampa Bay by 6 for me. Let's see, we got
Tom
up
Brady
next.
question.
Tom Brady question.
He's not questionable.
If they lose more than 2 of the first 8 games, do you think you retire?
No.
That would be look real bad, dude.
That looked bad on him, and he does not want that.
Yep. He's already almost divorced because he came back, so he may as well finish it out. Oh, well, yeah, I haven't looked at the full slate of schedules either. I'd assume it's pretty difficult.
I think
fairly
if he
difficult.
loses to the Saints 2 more times, I bet he retires mid-season.
He should retire. Carolina, New York Giants.
Yep. You're up
I
first.
bet he retires to save the marriage. Well, maybe. Okay, Carolina and New York Giants. All right, so the Giants looked, awesome last week. I'm a big fan of what they did. Carolina, Baker, are they going to run the ball? I don't know. There's too many questions. Both these teams are pretty healthy coming out of their last week. I see a lot of fantasy points in this game with Barkley, CMC, DJ Moore, even Baker. I like what the Giants did on defense, but I don't think it's going to be amazing. I think this is a really close game. I'm going to pick Giants by 3. Vegas has Giants by 2 to 3 points, and I'm going to stick with that and say Giants by 3. I'm not ready to say the Giants are awesome yet. I do like them. I'm happy for them. But I think Carolina makes this game a lot closer than some people might predict.
Okay. I think this whole entire scheme, I don't think there's going to be much passing. I honestly don't. I think this is going to be the game of the running backs. There's literally Saquon Barkley versus Christian McCaffrey. I think we're going to end up, both of them are going to be I think they're going to let CMC go this week. And since they didn't let him go last week, I think it's time to let him go. Just release the leash. Let him be the dog that he is. I'm guessing both running backs over 150 yards with multiple touchdowns. I think it's going to be, those are your points. If you have either one of them, you should start them. If you have both of them, you win your game this week.
If you have those two, they should never be on your bench anyway.
They should never be on your bench, yeah. But overall, I think overall it's going to be a dog fight. They're going to go back and forth, and it's going to be a close one. I have it by anywhere from 3 to 7. I will say by 7 to mix up with him, but I have the Giants by 7.
Man, if they run the ball, both teams, that game might take an hour and a half.
No, it might.
Because the clock's running.
It might be less than that.
Well, I guess it technically could. I don't know what the shortest game possible is that you could have. But
well, it can't.
Didn't we ask this question one time?
So 15. So an hour plus the 20-minute half.
Mm-hmm.
So
about an hour and a half.
About an hour and a half.
As fast as you could get.
With commercials, 3.5 hours. So, you know.
Yeah, well, that'll actually be a fun game to watch, I think.
Yeah.
Because I do like watching Baker, and I like McCaffrey and Barkley. You know, there's a lot of weapons on the field in that game. Neither team is great, but anyways.
We have two 4:00 games and then three
okay.
4:30 games.
Let's do Atlanta and the Rams.
All right, Atlanta and Rams. There's not a whole lot you can talk about this one. I think the Rams had their eyes open this week with, you know, you can't come in overconfident. You have to spread that ball out. You have to get Cam Akers the ball. If he's not healthy, get him off the field. Stop trying to bait people into thinking he's good if he's still injured. But I don't think that they're going to have an issue this week. I think Atlanta is just they don't have it this year. They don't. And that's why I absolutely have the Rams winning this by 7.
7.
By 7.
That's weak sauce.
It's not over.
That's weak sauce.
Not over, but you know.
Dude, I think Atlanta's going to be better this year. I like Mariota. I like their weapons, but I think the Rams, like you said, the dog has been awakened.
Yeah.
By getting kicked in the chest, and that dog is cranky. And Cooper Kupp, Pitts, Cordarrelle, like all the fantasy guys in this, I'd start all of them. I think there's going to be a lot of points scored, and I'm going Rams by 14.
Ooh.
I think it's going to be a butt whooping, but I do think Atlanta's going to score some points too.
Yeah. The other 4:00 game is Seattle-San Francisco.
Oh, that's a fun one. Seattle-San Francisco. So you've got the team that rah, they looked amazing. Their defense, they fought hard. They sprung an upset on Denver barely. You know, they were the kind of the talk of the town on Monday night and Tuesday morning. And then you've got San Francisco, who got beat in a swampy rainstorm in Chicago, and they were the kind of the disappointment of the weekend. This is one of those games where I think a correction's going to happen on this one, where, you know, don't read too much into Seattle, don't read too much into San Francisco. Elijah Mitchell and Kittle are, you know, out or question marks. Jamal Adams for Seattle, their big defender, and a few other defensive guys are banged up. I think there's a big game for Debo and Trey Lance, and I got San Francisco winning this one by 7. Vegas has them favored by 8.5. Playing at the Candlestick is different. The 49ers they play good there, and I think it's going to be a fun home game for them to get back on the ship.
Well, let's go ahead and let's just talk about who's the only winning team in the NFC West right now. Oh, that's Seattle. How dare you disrespect them? I've done it all off season, and I'm gonna do it again right here. no offense, Seattle is Seattle this year. I think they're gonna put up a little bit of a fight. I don't think it's just gonna be a wash though. I think it's gonna be a close game. Seattle's defense did what they needed to last week, and I think they're gonna come up and I think they're gonna try to do their best. It's a little bit harder because Debo alone is hard to cover, and if they start utilizing him in multiple positions again,
Right.
they're gonna end up winning their division if they actually pay Debo for using him. But if they don't use him, I think it's gonna be sad that they're missing out on an opportunity. Geno Smith had his one win of the season. That's we're done. We're moving on from that. I think this is going to be close, but I don't think it's going to be as close as 7. I'm taking San Francisco by 10.
Yeah, see, that's an 8.5 point line, so that's Vegas did a good job. They hit right between me and you, and
Yeah.
and they're good at that, I think, or they probably wouldn't be able to make any money. Next one, Cincinnati at Dallas.
Yes. Yes.
Right?
Uh-huh.
Okay,
I had to look down my list.
you're good.
Cincinnati at Dallas. I think the injury of Dak makes this pretty much sealed away. Cooper Rush we'll see how he does this week. He's got some shoes to fill, but I think he's up for everything. I just don't see Dallas being able to stop the Bengals. I don't think we're going to be kicking field goals. I think
Right on Robin Hood.
I think we're scoring touchdown after touchdown after touchdown, and I don't think that Dallas is going to have an answer. This is literally the blowout of blowouts this week. I'm taking Cincinnati by 21.
Woo! Man, okay. Well, I have a T. Higgins has a concussion right now. That's important to me.
But that's where Hurst comes in.
Yeah, I know, I hear you, but that's a big weapon gone, and they're still without their long snapper. So
Yeah.
I hope they don't need any field goals, which it doesn't sound like you guys think they're going to need.
I don't think so.
But not only Dak, but they've got a guard, a defensive end, a safety, Michael Gallup. They're just shredded,
They're just
man.
riddled.
And even at home, I'm going to go a little bit less on this score just because I think Dallas's D knows that they have to save them.
Yeah.
And we'll see if Cincinnati gets exactly right back on track. I'm just going to go Cincinnati by 10. But you guys aren't right. It could be a 30, 40-point blowout, but I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised to see Dallas just quit. But they're professional athletes. I don't see them doing that.
Yeah,
So,
you're right. You're right.
so that's Cincinnati by 10. Cincinnati's favored by 7 in Vegas, by the way. So that one might be a good bet. For
Those
you guys.
numbers were before Dak went down.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe. No. I got that number on Tuesday morning. So,
Okay.
if you're on Cincinnati on that one, that might be a good one. Houston at Denver.
Mm-hmm.
So just like San Francisco is going to make a correction, I have Cincinnati making a correction. I have Denver making a correction as well. It also helps that all three of these teams are playing not good opponents. Houston's got some defensive end injuries, and Denver's got O-line and a couple defensive injuries. I don't know that they're big-named folks, but this goes back to Mile High. Houston's going to walk into a hornet's nest. I see Denver getting right back on track, running the ball, throwing the ball. And Denver's favored by 10 on the line, but I'm going to go Denver by 7 just to keep it a little bit close. I'm not quite ready to say Denver's going to light it up, but they definitely have the ability to do so.
I think it's very after the coach came out and made his statement about the kick and everything like that. I think they're going to be less conservative. I think they're going for it this week, which could go two ways. Either you make a lot more mistakes
Right.
because you're going for those, you're going for extra. You're just going extra, or it all succeeds and you are off to the races.
Right.
I think that they're gonna get. They need to. Denver needs to get Judy and Sutton on shorter routes. You know, they have those long routes to them, which are fine, and Russ can make those. But you got to nickel and dime and then start pushing those
Right.
longer ones. You got to get that defense to be pulled forward, then you go deep. They have to also get Williams going. Like, they need to utilize him more. He's a good running back. He has potential to be the best running back in the league, according to some people
Me.
that I know.
I'm in love.
I saw some good things from him on Monday. I think if they utilize him in multiple ways instead of just running, gotta get that pass going to him more.
Yeah.
Because they did pass to him, but I think more
He's
to
a great
him.
pass catcher.
That dump down will be great. Houston, you got lucky. You got lucky against Indianapolis last week. I don't know what you could do to beat such a high flying offense like Denver. The biggest difference between the two matchups from last week to this week is that they have an explosive wide receivers, and Houston is not going to have an answer for that. It's way out there. And if Denver, you said that Vegas had this by 10.
Denver by 10 is the line.
Well, I absolutely agree with Vegas for probably the first time ever. Denver by 10.
Mile High, we all know, is not a fun place to play either.
No.
Being Raiders and Chiefs, right? Like, Mile High is not a fun place to go. And I think your Denver players, fantasy football, I would start every one of them this week.
Yep.
I think that'll be some good numbers. Now, here's a fun one for you. Arizona at Las Vegas.
All right, I'm just gonna say this. Arizona has so many injuries. I don't know who's coming back this week. I don't know who was hurt last week. More people are out. Do you have a list of the 60 people?
A little bit. So J.J. Watt, of course. One of their good receivers, Rondale Moore. They're missing a couple cornerbacks and one of their guards. The Raiders have a corner, a defensive tackle, a safety, and a linebacker, but I'm not sure that they're full starters. Some of those guys are filling secondary players. So a lot of injuries for both teams, but
this is a rough game. You know, this is a home game for Vegas, so I think Arizona had their chance to win their home opener. They're going somewhere to ruin somebody else's. But at the end of the day, I don't see Arizona being able to keep up with the high fly of Vegas this year. You know, the AFC West is just full of explosive offensives, and I think Vegas ends up taking this one. Not easily, but I think they're gonna overcome it, and I think they're gonna win by 10.
10. Yeah, Arizona doesn't impress me.
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay. Arizona hasn't impressed me. I do think that they're gonna try to right the ship a little bit in this one. So, if I was the Raiders, I wouldn't want to be playing them fresh off that butt whooping they got.
Mm-hmm.
But at least it's at home. I would be starting Carr, Adams, Waller, and I'd probably play Hollywood too because the Raiders' defense isn't amazing. So I could see this being a pretty high-scoring game, but I'm with you. I think I got the Raiders by 3, but I could see them winning by a lot more than that for sure. The line's Vegas by 4 to 5 points. So
Yeah.
I just made it a close game, just expecting Arizona to play a little bit better.
Yeah.
And know that they don't want to start 0-2, but we'll see what if they actually show up or not. We'll know real quick where the Raiders sit.
Yep.
In accordance to the Chiefs, the Chargers, those are 3 teams we'll know a lot about next week.
Everybody
right?
but Denver.
Denver's the only one we won't know about because we're starting to get some cross-platform.
Yep, we're starting to get
here.
Yep.
Which doesn't always mean everything.
Nope.
But it definitely gives you an idea.
Yep.
So yeah, we're both on Vegas on that one. Start all your Raiders players. And then here we get into one that we already knew each other's picks before we started, but we didn't discuss any of this. So this is what we're going to call our fight game.
This is the Sunday night game.
We have a hard disagreement on, and it should be a fun disagreement. We only disagreed on 3 games this whole week. So it wasn't very exciting for us personally. But this one we definitely disagree on. And am I starting this one?
Yeah, go ahead.
So this one is Chicago Bears at Green Bay Packers. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So Chicago won in a swamp pit. Whatever. Like I just don't. I wouldn't even count that as a game. I just can't do it. Like neither team. Like I don't know. No one knows if Chicago's any good. No one knows that the 49ers are bad. It was fun to watch, but it's crap. There you go, 0-0. Justin Fields does not do it for me yet. I don't think Chicago's D is that good yet when you're not playing in a swimming pool. The Bears are healthy, leaving their game. Lazard hopefully will be back. He has an ankle. Even if he's back, I don't know if he's going to be 100%. And then Green Bay's missing an offensive lineman. Listen, I get it. Green Bay did not look good, and I am not on the Green Bay bandwagon. But Aaron Rodgers, after last week, managed to stay positive. And I think he believes in those rookies. He's just not going to say it out loud. And I totally expect Green Bay to lay the wood in this one. And everyone's going to be like, oh, I guess Aaron Rodgers figured it out. Because I'm expecting him to figure it out against the Bears. And I'm sorry, Bears fans, but I just don't see it. Green Bay's favored by 10. And I got Green Bay winning by 12. And I could see it even being more than that. And it's your turn to speak, Bears fan, but
you have to be on the same drugs that Aaron Rodgers is on. You have to be. They were god-awful last week, and you can't fix that in 1 week.
Aaron Rodgers can.
No, he cannot. Aaron Rodgers is a man.
A
man who is on hallucinogens.
He took his drugs and he's fine.
He took his drugs during the game, and look what happened.
You're not supposed to take them during the game. He's got to get his timing down.
There's not a question in my head. I don't think that they're going to work it out in 1 week. I don't. All right?
Who's Fields going to throw to?
He threw to 8 different targets last week. Pettis, Montgomery, Pringles, St. Brown, the other St. Brown, Mooney. The number one thing that I took,
Mooney, okay, there's one.
Yeah, but he threw to all these guys.
They all suck.
Now, good enough to win. He threw 2 touchdowns in the rain.
Win in the middle of Lake Michigan.
Yeah, that's still. And if it matters, it's a rivalry game. Doesn't matter to me.
No, it is a rivalry game. That's true.
It is a rivalry game. So guess what? They're going to come. They're going to show up. They're going to put a beating on them. Number one thing I got from last week is ball security. Bears never fumbled once in the rain, in the middle of a swamp. They didn't fumble once. Their running game never really got started. I understand that. But guess what? When you're dealing with the dry land in Green Bay, you're good. You're good to go. It's not blistering cold. This isn't a snow game. It's up north. It's gonna be a little bit cooler, my guess. I think they're gonna go in there. I think they're gonna show everybody exactly who the Bears really are. I don't think they're going to blow out Green Bay, but I don't think Green Bay is going to have the answer yet. Yet. Later in the season, we might get there. But this season, or this game right here, I just don't see it. And I have Chicago winning by 7.
Man, Robin Hood's on my side. That's all that matters. That means I'm probably going to be right.
Yeah.
That means I'm probably going to be right. I mean, I could probably put Green Bay, Pocky, one chip challenge, Green Bay wins. Ooh, there's a challenge. That's a fun one.
I've had Pockies, though.
Have you had the one chip challenge? That's not quite as much fun.
No, they're not fun, but they're not.
He's even bringing it. It's on.
They're not. They don't ruin your day. They ruin your 20 minutes.
I could see Green Bay winning by 20, 21 points. Also, I kept it at 14, but I think it's gonna get gross.
I think it's gonna be a 1-score game.
I can't wait for that. That's Sunday night game, isn't it?
Yep, that is Sunday night.
Oh boy, that'll be a good one. That'll probably determine whether we win or lose against each other. Since we only have 3 games, that's going to be a big one.
That's a big one between you and me.
Well, so I started that one, but now we go to the Monday night games.
Yeah, so we got Tennessee versus Buffalo, and
he says if you agree, I'll go buy it.
I'm not going to agree to it.
He's not ready to commit to it, Robin Hood.
Tennessee versus Buffalo is a.
Do we even need to talk about this one?
I don't think we really do. This is the game that I put the biggest spread on. I really did, because Tennessee didn't look good. They don't have a defense. Sorry, Buffalo, second or third best defense in the AFC, just maybe in the whole NFL. I think I just think that Buffalo easily stomps this. I'm gonna say 24.
24.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tennessee's got a couple defensive injuries. Buffalo made it out healthy. Vegas has Buffalo by 10. Vegas doesn't usually even do double-digit numbers, so that's a big one. I got Buffalo by 14. And, if you're in fantasy football and don't start your Buffalo Bills players, you're just an idiot. So
You got 6 ads?
6 ads?
You can tell I'm not running ads.
6 ads? How does that happen?
I don't know. Enjoy your money. I don't know where 6 ads came from, but okay.
Were they good ads?
I hope they're good ads.
Was one Amazon Prime or something? That'd be cool.
Are you supporting me, Amazon Prime? Thanks, Jeff Bezos.
Yeah. Send a check, please.
Directly to me.
Yeah.
I got it.
I'll plug you every single week if you send a check.
If you let me stream it, I'll be even better.
No doubt.
4. He's done with 4 of them. You got the last one first.
Oh, last one?
Yeah.
This is one of our...
This is a weird week. There's 2 Monday night games.
2 Monday night football games, which is kind of fun. I don't know how I feel about it. I'll have to go through it and experience
I like
first.
the earlier Monday night games. So
I do like an earlier one.
I don't have to stay up till 11 o'clock.
Yeah, I usually fall asleep at halftime of the Monday night games because I'm old. This is another one that we differed on opinion.
Barely though.
Barely. This is going to be a fun one. This is one of the games that I'm most excited to watch. I wish it wasn't the late Monday night game.
Yeah.
But this is Minnesota at Philadelphia. Let's see. Minnesota's healthy. Philadelphia is missing their defensive end, Derek Barnett.
Mm-hmm.
I think he was a starter, so that could be
Yeah,
a
he
little
was.
bit important.
He was.
Philly looks great. They got a good running game. They got A.J. Brown. But they still barely beat Detroit. Minnesota handled Green Bay, but that's still Green Bay, even though I think Green Bay is going to figure it out. I like Minnesota's defense better. And I just love their weapons. Cousins, Dalvin Cook, Justin Jefferson. I mean, I feel like that's almost like mini baby Buffalo Bills #2. Like they're just gonna be ridiculous.
Yeah.
I've got Minnesota winning this on the road in Philly by 5 points.
Yeah, so this is where it comes back for me. I believe Minnesota is the better team. I really do. But it's a home game.
Mm-hmm.
First home game for Philadelphia. They want something here. They want to prove that their offense is real. I just think that when you compare weapons between the teams, they are exactly the same. It's like you've got your high flyers, you got your running backs. You have a more mobile quarterback in Jalen Hurts.
Sure.
And, Kirk Cousins is more of your pocket passer. I think it's all going to come down to defense. And I think that Philadelphia has just a slight edge on defense. Not a huge edge. It's very slight. I think it's going to be an extremely close game. And I think it's going to be probably a high-scoring game.
I disagree with you on that, Robin Hood. I'm with Jesse on this one. I'm like,
no, I think this is going to be a high-scoring game.
2 up-and-coming young offenses that look sharp.
I would not be surprised 27-30.
Yeah.
Honestly, like whatever the over/under is, it's most likely going to go over. And I'm gonna take Philadelphia only by 3.
I'm looking forward to it. I hope that maybe I'll be able to stay awake the whole game since that's the one that's on. But
that's the late that's the late one.
That is, I know. That's what I'm saying.
That's a hard.
Maybe because it's entertaining game, maybe I'll stay awake.
Yeah. Discussing a bonus game this week.
What's a bonus game?
What bonus game are you talking about? Because that was
if it's racing or Sporting KC, I'm out. You can discuss it. Is there a hidden NFL game I don't know about?
Okay,
you want to do a little college? Yeah,
so you're talking Saturday game.
Yeah, Houston's fresh off a good year, man. We ain't gonna be sleeping on. Nobody's gonna be sleeping on us anymore. So I don't know. Houston's a tough place to go. I love what the KU Kansas coach is doing, but I could see this week getting tripped up a little bit. But hopefully it's close at least. You think Kansas is gonna win that? Is that what you think? I'm talking to Robin Hood, but
I'll
you
let
can
him answer. But I'll
you
let
haven't. I don't
know.
think you've watched him yet, have you?
Oh, I watched one game. I watched the replay of it. I didn't watch it live. KU doesn't have a fucking chance. They got their 2 wins this season. If you're looking for any more, I don't know, man.
I'm not worried about his take on Kansas.
I like KU basketball, thanks. But I'm just
you
not
sound like a K-State fan.
I'm just not a hardcore fan. I don't like KSU for anything. So I don't care about K-State for football. I
won money last week on KU K-State and the Chiefs. So
I think
ooh, 500 in the Big 12. Ooh, man.
Maybe. You're really stretching here.
What we gotta do? We gotta win 6 for a bowl game. Is that right?
Everybody gets a bowl game. What are you talking about?
It's gonna be rough. I think you do have to have 6 wins, or maybe it's 5. I don't remember how many. But
well, regardless, I think that I don't think it's gonna be. I don't think it'll be close.
Houston is one of our remaining winnable games. If we have a chance in any of them, that's definitely one that we need to win.
Prove me wrong, KU. Prove me wrong.
Well,
would I love to see them win? Absolutely.
West Virginia
Do I think they'll win? No.
West Virginia was favored by 14 last week, and we got them in overtime.
And they were up by 14 at one point.
Yeah. I mean, they were. They were.
They shit the bed. It's not that we were winning. They got bad.
I can't remember what the Houston line is, but it's somewhere around that 10 to 15 range, I think.
Yeah. Maybe not anymore. Maybe not after they won both games.
Yeah, I'm not so sure about K-State, but I'll take TCU on that one.
I mean, K-State has been putting a smattering on
yeah,
their two people.
They're going to be tough. So the Packers are going to get back on track this week, and that's the one thing I took out of this whole thing is that I'm positive the Packers are going to win.
Oh yeah, God, I can't wait for Justin Fields to somehow break out and just run 80 yards for a touchdown for the win. No time left. I'm just waiting for it. Rodgers can't scramble to save his life. His old man knees are going bad. Broken clavicle. No, I'm kidding. No.
Okay, random injury that's going to happen this week. Not like from an evil witch standpoint, like we're wishing it upon somebody. We just like to guess. I just like to randomly, like we should have picked Dak Prescott last week. That was the big injury, right? But like, I just like the banter of saying, like, name a random injured player that's going to happen this week.
Random injury. I want to look at the games really quick.
Yeah, no, it's all good. Take a second.
Because I want to.
Take a second.
There's a lot. I mean,
I think there's going to be some close games this week, and I think it's going to be interesting.
I hate to say it, but I think with who they're playing, I think there's a possibility. I'm gonna go ahead and say Christian McCaffrey.
McCaffrey?
I think McCaffrey they're gonna use him a lot this week.
Okay.
I think they really are, and they didn't use him a lot last week, so it makes me think that he's not 100%. But they have to show something this week because one run game will demolish the other team.
Mm-hmm.
So you gotta. I think Christian McCaffrey might be the bad one.
I'm gonna go with Tua on a nasty blitz, just gets shredded, and I think Tua is gonna get hurt. It might not be like career ending, like I'm just thinking like he's out for the game or something.
Just the rest of the game,
like hurt his back or his leg or concussion or something weird, like that. Again, not wishing this upon anybody.
Hopefully not concussion, because that can take you out for multiple
that
weeks.
Can, yes.
That's not a.
I could also see. This is going to be blasphemy. Don't get mad, Robin Hood. I could see Mahomes getting hurt this weekend too. I mean, with those guys coming after him.
Can you imagine Khalil Mack?
Well, or Bosa.
And Bosa coming and just helicopter
sandwich him.
Ooh. No, I don't wish that upon them, though.
One from the top, one from the bottom.
I do not wish that upon them. That is...
Yeah. Well, this will be a game that, for a Homer Chiefs fan, I would definitely be happy on Monday, on tomorrow morning. I'll be happy if Mahomes isn't hurt.
I'd be happy at the end of tonight if he's not hurt.
No doubt. You can go to bed and lay your head down easy.
I'd be super happy.
Well, this is almost 2 hours and 45 minutes.
It was. This is going to be this is our first episode.
It's a good time.
It's a little bit longer.
We'll get a little bit more organized and have some funnier takes in there, mix in some fun.
I thought we did pretty well.
Yeah, no,
I'll toot our horn.
I think it's going to be fun.
For a. When did we talk about this last? We talked like Monday.
Yeah, just a couple days ago.
And like we talked about it Monday. We just pulled everything together. We did this on a whim. I thought today went really well. You guys tell us how you think it went. Is this helpful? Is it not? Is it entertaining? Well, regardless, we'll keep doing this.
I can not wear a hat and wear different clothes, get a background up here. We can make everything look a little better in the future.
This is just, this is, I don't know of anything else we want to talk about. Unless you want to, if there's anything for maybe fantasy you want to talk about. I mean,
No, I tried to just mention the games where I saw like a weaker defense against a high octane offense. You
Yeah.
know, those type of situations. I didn't delve too deep like you did for
Yeah.
the waiver wire. There's probably a few guys out there that I'm missing
yeah.
that are probably have an opportunity. I think Kyle Pitts is should have a better week this week.
Will he?
I don't know.
They're playing against the Rams.
I know, but they got
That's-
to get that. That looks like a good opportunity to pass to a tight end to me. You know what I mean?
Put my hands up.
You
I
know,
don't know.
the Rams D isn't amazing. You know, they've got a couple players. I get it.
Mhm.
Like they went to a Super Bowl for a reason, but
All because of
but-
Von Miller.
but that's a great check down moment to get it to a tight end for me.
Yes.
If I got big boy coming after me, I'm like, where's my tight end?
Well, Mariota has to be
If
more comfortable throwing the ball instead of running it
oh
every
my
time.
goodness, because he's gonna get destroyed.
Yeah.
Mariota's the one I should have picked to be injured.
Yeah, Aaron Donald's going to destroy
If he runs
him.
and Donald's waiting on him, that's not gonna look
That's
good.
not going to be a pretty look.
Yep.
Not that I can see.
But no, I think that's good for this week, and hopefully we can have some more fun and keep getting better. and-
Absolutely. If we can work it out, we're thinking about doing this twice a week instead of once a week. You know, being able to give you early looks right after the games, not on Thursday right before games, but right after the games, maybe on a Tuesday, and then maybe get the late picks in on Saturday.
yeah,
You know,
and we can always pick the Thursday game on Tuesday.
Yes.
Like that's our one pick for that.
because
one.
injuries happen, and
Yeah.
it's better to wait till last minute for your pick than you would do in the middle of the week. So
Yeah, my pick could look like stupid here in 2 days if somebody's not going to play that I thought was going to play.
it could look bad in an hour. You know,
Well, I mean, your Bears pick already looks stupid,
yeah.
so.
Well,
Uh,
we'll see.
but maybe Justin Fields wrecks his scooter on the way to practice or something, you know. And I'm like, well, you picked him. Sorry.
I'll his backup's just as good.
I
I don't know who his backup is. So
don't either.
hey, thank you guys. Thank you everybody for coming out today. It's been a lot of fun, almost 3 hours, and we'll get some more looks later. But hey, I couldn't have asked for a better first show. Thank you, Coach Curley, for being here
Thank
today.
you.
I very
Thank
much
you. High
appreciate it.
five.
High five. And we will. So I got a new PFP. So we're gonna take off. Thank you guys, everyone who stuck around. If you're a sports fan, we'll be back next week, and we'll be able to do more stuff. We're thinking about moving this show to its own channel. That way, nobody was nobody who's here for my Pokemon and stuff like that has to deal with the notifications for this.
Right.
But we're gonna talk about it this week and weekend and everything, and we're gonna work things out. So, but again, thank you so much. 3 hours on here has been great. I gotta go get my kid soon. Hey, you guys are amazing. Thank you so much for all the follow, subs, bits, tips, everything. You guys brighten my day every time I talk to you, and I will see you guys probably next week. So, heart,
Mic drop out.
mic drop, out.
lost under the surface. You don't know what you're expecting of me, but under the pressure of walking in your shoes, caught in the undertow, just caught in the undertow. And every step that I take is another mistake to you. I become so numb, I can't feel you there. I become so tired, so much more aware. I'm becoming there. All I want to do is be more like me and be less like you. Can't you see that you're smothering me? You're holding too tightly, afraid to lose control. 'Cause everything that you thought I would be is falling apart right in front of you. Caught in the undertow, just caught in the undertow. Every step that I take is another mistake to you. And every second I waste is more than I can take. I've become so numb, I can't feel you